DEGREELESSNESS, the podcast.
What episode is this?
This is episode 11.
11. All right. Well, first, we need to clear the air with our loyal viewers. Because...
Assuming that we have some.
We promised an in-person episode, and we did not deliver. And I will explain why. We did not deliver because during our visit, we essentially were in podcast mode the entire fucking time. Meaning
which I'm astounded that I did not foresee that occurring.
Right.
So, I don't know why that didn't occur to me.
I mean, it made it so had we attempted to cast, we would have been very light on material because once we tried to focus the beam instead of Cyclops style, just like blasting that shit everywhere, it would not have worked out. It would have felt forced and weird, and it wouldn't have quite worked out. Like if we were in person together day in and day out, we would definitely need to have a more structured regimen because we don't talk all the time every single day that we're able to push out these amazing blasts of creativity. When we're together, it's just a nonstop onslaught of psycho bullshit.
Yeah, we would absolutely need to have like a much more structured sort of format. Well, who knows? We might get used to it.
Right. I can't predict the future. You never know. Maybe I'm wrong. But at the time, plus also, we're having such a good time together playing the Secret of Mana Remake and hanging out. And like sitting down for 2 hours and not playing sucked.
The podcast is basically just a 1 to 2 hour snippet of what our day-to-day 24/7 conversation is.
24/7,
pretty much.
Right.
Yeah. It's not like an actual structured thing in any sense of the fucking word, right? So I mean, I don't know. There's not. I don't know. I didn't really want to fucking sit down in front of the fucking microphone and all right, let's hit record and blah blah blah. I don't know. It's kind of like how no matter how fun an activity may be or how much you enjoy it or something, once it's like scheduled for a specific time, all of a sudden you resent it and don't want to do it.
Right. And I mean, this works because it's when we get to talk and hang out and shit. But if we're already together, it's like, well, why are we doing this?
Yeah, like why do I need to fucking sit here and not do something else for an hour and a half?
Yeah, I mean, we're jamming out with the Secret of Mana Remake, which also is stellar.
The Secret of Mana Remake is a very, very weird little piece of fucking software because on one hand, it's like, it is beyond a catastrophic failure in every sense of the word. But on the other hand, it succeeds in more ways than one probably ever would have imagined that was possible.
I mean, they got the battle system right. How?
It might be that simple. I might be just fucking... I might be just blowing it up as this big thing when it's actually, like you just said, maybe it's much more simple. Everything about it sucks, but they managed to get the gameplay fucking pitch perfect, and as a result, nothing else fucking really matters.
Right. They didn't fix the things that needed fixing. They changed things like the dialogue that didn't need changing because it's still garbage.
Well, garbage in that it just doesn't make any fucking sense whatsoever.
No sense. The story still makes sense. I actually read someone analyzed, I guess Thanatos is trying to revive the Mana Fortress so he can use it to rule the world, but that never comes across in the game.
I mean, other than, doesn't Gemma have one line where he says, beware the Empire, it seeks the fortress.
I think that's it. That's the story. And
we're just left to assume that if they did revive the Mana Fortress, then they would use it to fuck everybody up again, presumably.
No, it's fucking trash. And them being like, oh, we did a whole new soundtrack. Like, what? A key change, garbage, EDM style, fucking... Even saying EDM style, anything style, is too much of a fucking compliment to lay at the feet of such a fucking horror show. No, it was terrible. They should have done live band covers of all the originals.
They should have done literally absolutely anything fucking else. than what they
get a more talented, get some SoundCloud producer
every
to do it.
aspect of that soundtrack was an utter and complete failure. The remixes, quote unquote, if you want to call them that, were fucking awful.
I mean,
they were terrible in a way that led me to believe that you would need to have a pretty firm grasp of music theory in order to intentionally make them that bad.
Oh yeah, whoever made those knows music. That's the most offensive part.
Yeah.
Like, that was made by a competent musician.
Not only just do those tracks just as pieces of music, standalone pieces of music, are they awful. As revisions, remixes of a classic soundtrack, they are fucking awful. As electronic music, they're fucking awful.
Awful.
And what's even fucking worse is the mixing on them is fucking garbage too.
They're terrible. And remember, the mixing on the originals is fucked up as well. Remember they changed the levels on some of that shit?
I wouldn't go so far as to say it's fucked up.
They changed the levels on some of the fucking channels.
Yeah,
in the original songs.
But can we really say that we're sure that's a result of something intentional they were doing, or just a byproduct of playing what ostensibly amounts to the original tracks on a different sort of sound engine?
No, because it's not a different sound engine. It's a fucking PS4. They're playing sound files. It's a fucking MP3. Like, there's no excuse. They could have just ripped it straight up and played it back, and they didn't.
Oh, yes.
They probably tried to pull the original channels.
It's not like they would sound any different because they're not playing from a Super Nintendo fucking
they probably routed the original channels through some kind of like SPC emulator and then mixed them again. At least did volume mixing and didn't get them right. Because if you do the most basic SPC player, I think they're SMC files is what an SPC plays. Those would play correctly. I mean, I didn't even think there were level dynamics, but that's probably insane. I'm sure there were level dynamics. I'm sure there was a choice to be able to choose levels, but everything is pretty much at 100%.
Yeah, I mean...
everything is mixed pretty much at the same level. There's not much dynamics.
But next to the nightmare of the redone soundtrack, it's, it's totally fucking fine.
It's beautiful by comparison.
The redone soundtrack is just so awful in very specific ways that make me feel as though there was some sort of specific intent behind the manners in which it's fucking terrible. It's really, really, it's a very unique collection of awful fucking music.
Bullshit. Yeah, a unique collection of fucking garbage.
It's really fucking interesting. I mean, you could have just gone to what was that shit we used to fuck with back in the day? OC Remix, right?
Of course, dude. DJ Pretzel, shout out. You could
have gone to fucking OC Remix archives and literally blindly grabbed a handful of shit from one of the Secret of Mana directories, and any of it would have been, to say better than what we were given, doesn't even fucking do it justice.
No, it would have been a huge improvement.
Just very, very bizarre fucking choices.
So, I don't know. I mean,
like, we get the most basic, like, fucking, the most basic, lowest possible amount of effort sort of art style and like 3D models and stuff like that. But then they put what seems like an actual, measurable amount of work into redoing the soundtrack. It's god fucking awful, but like someone actually had to sit there and spend the time to do that. And I feel like it comes across to me as though whoever did that soundtrack spent more time on it than the people who were doing the individual fucking models and like, redoing textures and shit like that. It's very, very bizarre. They put more effort into the audio, which comes out sounding like an intentional fucking nightmare, and barely any effort into the fucking graphics.
But how did they get the battle system right? We discussed this actually at length.
I have no fucking idea.
How did they actually re-engineer the pieces of the battle system that feel so off about the first one. It's what makes the first one so special is how off so much of this shit feels. But like, how the fuck did they do it? How did they figure out how to make it so when you try to hit an enemy, you can't actually fucking hit them except for these specific frames? It's like, it's not even the invincibility frames. It's like, the battle
more
system
than
feels
that too.
exactly
it's more than,
right.
Like, you don't just miss. You miss somehow. You miss in a fashion that feels like missing in the Super Nintendo version.
It's identical. The battle system is identical. You feel like you're playing Secret of Mana, which ultimately is the best compliment you could give. But like, that is shortchanging all the glaring failures and faults of this new one, where they had an opportunity to take this game, which at its core, it's a fact that this game has unrealized potential. It is a fact. That's not an opinion. It's a fucking fact that this game was meant to be more and was not. And they didn't even make a fucking little bit of an effort to try to fix all the things about the original that failed because it was never realized.
And it's not like this was just a remaster or something.
No,
that we could be like, oh well, remake. It's just a one-off remaster done, outsourced to some no-name studio. Who cares? Whatever. At least we can play it on a PS4 multiplayer and shit. We don't have to worry about dragging out a Super Nintendo, and the fucking controllers and shit. I guess that's fine. No, they actually went to the effort to remake the entire fucking game, and I don't. It's very, very fucking bizarre. I suppose, kind of, in keeping with how fucking bizarre the original game is. There's a lot of questions left unanswered that we'll probably never really get to the fucking bottom of.
I know, right? Yo, programmed by Nasir, brah.
Yeah, how did they manage to go back into that shit and figure out how to translate the, what I'm imagining must have been like assembly or some shit, laid out by fucking Nasir back in the Yo day, and somehow bring that to modern programming architecture in 2018 and make it feel exactly the same.
It's insane how much effort that must have taken.
Controlling that game and playing it, it almost feels like... I don't know. It almost feels like you're when you're running around and trying to interact with enemies and on the field and shit. It almost feels like you're playing what's not there instead of what's there. Like you're playing in these weird holes and spaces in between.
Yes.
I don't know.
Dude, the game happens in between. No, the game happens in between strikes. You play that game in the pocket. Fucking jazz, exactly. Dude, Secret of Mana is jazz. It's a jazz action RPG.
Wow, I'm amazed that you picked up what I was trying to fucking...
Of course.
What I was trying to say with that shit. Yeah, it's very much about what's not there more than it is about what's there. It's more about how you miss as opposed to how you hit shit.
Yeah, dude, it's jazz. It's fucking insane. It's fucking crazy. That's so true. I mean, the game is a fucking disaster, but that's what's so insane. They took this fucking... It's like if you took a child's scribble and were like, I'm going to draw this. Oh, I love the idea behind this scribble. I'm going to take it and turn it into a beautiful piece of art. But all you did was use more expensive materials and copied it verbatim. Secret of Mana is it's an amazing, iconic game, but it's a fucking incomplete mess. And they embraced that it's a mess, but they didn't. Clearly, it was made by people who clearly understand.
They didn't steer into it enough. They kind of steered into it, but then they steered back out and tried to course correct, and then they sort of steered back into it again, and then they sort of lost their nerve and came back fucking out again and tried to fucking right the ship. It's very, very bizarre. They could have fixed at least what we saw of the dialogue, so there was an actual coherent and understandable story with some some sort of measurable sense of beginning, middle, and end, you know, like an actual fucking opening act conflict resolution sort of thing. They like at least made it coherent, right? They didn't do that, but they did add weird little like character dialogue vignettes randomly in ins.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Like, okay, what was the thought process behind that?
Let's describe that first.
We'll go into the dialogue. Let's go into the dialogue code. Let's go into the dialogue code. And what we're not gonna do is flesh out the main narrative so it makes actual sense. No, we're gonna go and add these bizarre little fucking little I guess vignettes, for lack of a fucking better word. I think they only take place in inns for the most part, where the three characters all of a sudden start talking to each other about some random nonsense. Like at one point they're talking about like, so what's the girl's name, Purim or Prim?
I think her name is Clip Play.
I meant what's her name in canon.
Her actual name is Purin, which means fucking pudding. It means like pudding is like a flan or a custard, but they strictly translate, and that's also Jigglypuff's Japanese name, by the way. And they instead, these fucking idiots, they're no Ted Woolsey, and they translated it. They directly. I don't know if the term is transliteration. It's not even transliteration. They just translated the katakana directly to, because pudding would be translated to prin or prim. But it's not. It's pudding, which means fucking custard. That's what her real name is. So pudding, if you don't want to call her Clip Play or the girl, then you can call her pudding, but not prim, for fuck's sake, please.
Okay. All right. So anyway, thanks for clearing that up, Bobby.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess in one of the scenes, like the boy and the sprite are like, so why do you like dialogue so much? And the girl goes into this fucking it's probably multiple fucking paragraphs.
It's multiple paragraphs.
In the most trite fucking like simplistic dialogue about like, well, he's it's like the most cliched nonsense. Well, he's a very upstanding gentleman. He's kind to people. He's understanding. He's a good soldier. And like, really? You took the time to write 10 paragraphs of this fucking garbage, which ends up amounting to absolutely zero impact on the overall experience of an understanding of the game, when you could have taken probably a third of the words that they used to write all this dialogue for those stupid vignette scenes and instead added to the main narrative and actually had a measurable, noticeable effect on the overall game experience. Just a third of the words that they used in all those fucking scenes, if they had instead turned those towards fleshing out the narrative and having it make sense, would have been really fucking great. Would have really filled in a fucking hole that the original really suffered for. But no, instead we get these useless throwaway dialogue scenes that even in the other fucking main title RPGs that sort of style of interaction is ripped off from. Even when you see it, those things in like, you know, like Star Ocean or whatever the fuck it is, you fucking mash right through that shit regardless anyway.
No one likes it. That's one of the failures of Octomom also, is they do that shit. It's the only time the characters interact.
That's a good
the only time the characters interact in Octomom is with this bullshit where, and did we explain what this is? It's, you go into an inn, and when you're sleeping in Secret of Mana, and in Octomom, it's after a plot point happens, you press a button, and it goes into this screen where you just see the characters, and they are having this conversation together, and it is the most insipid dialogue in Secret of Mana. In Octomom, it's irrelevant. In Secret of Mana, it's so stupid. They should be talking about the plot. They should be doing world building, and instead, in 2018, they are encouraging this fucking this chick is just this vapid nobody who only gives a fuck about her fucking stupid, useless boyfriend who we know nothing about other than he got captured and he sucks. Instead of like changing the story and being like, wow, no, she's a badass motherfucker who's, I mean, statistically just as good as the other two, and she's the healer and she's the best. I mean, she's got great fucking magic, and yet they want her to just be this girl. She's the girlfriend. It's like they should be ashamed of themselves. They could have created this whole new plot.
Fiddle to a dude character that is barely even a fucking character. Barely. And
Dialogue or Randy?
Dialogue. Oh, both.
Oh my god,
both
Dialogue
really.
is nobody. But
at
both
least
of them
Randy
really
has agency because he's a player character. But
I would have thought it was so cool if they steered her into a lead role in that game and made it about her. Can we just take a moment
to also point out that Diluc is apparently a soldier leading a squad, but what army is he a part of? You never see any other soldiers, no other members or like members of that fucking army, of that military force. You never see the rest of his squad.
Yeah, what army?
Nothing.
Does he work for the Empire?
I think you're supposed to assume that it's part of some like military force based in Pandora, but they never explicitly say that. You don't see anything else ever in Pandora that is even, remotely similar to that one first scene where, when you first come upon the Water Palace and it shows Diluc and like the 5 soldiers and shit. And they're like standing out there and then like he says some dumb shit and then they march off into the fucking haunted forest.
I mean, whose army? Does Pandora have a standing army? Is the chick even from Pandora?
Yes, she definitely is, because if you go to Pandora out of order, you can like walk in on some dialogue scenes where she's like fighting with her dad and shit in the castle.
Is that how you get her early with the goblins, which I never can fucking do?
Yes, partially. I don't recall exactly how you do it, but there's one screen where if you go to it at the right time in like the correct weird sequence of fucking events, then basically if you've seen her and watched her scenes in the Pandora castle and then you go and walk past the spot where the goblins capture you, the goblins will snatch you, throw you in a pot to cook you and boil you alive, and she will come by and fucking save you, and then you can get her early. But I don't know if like it's random if the goblins decide to take you when you walk past that spot, or if you have to do a certain things in a certain order. I don't really know. I've only seen it happen like a very, very small handful of times, and
it's just a mark of how unfinished the game is
by accident.
Hey, sorry, my fucking cat.
Oh, which one?
Scratching. Well, I'm not going to say their names because they're too fucking unique, but it's the big, fluffy, tabby asshole.
Oh, God, that circle strafing fucking maniac.
Circle strafing piece of shit. Yeah, so in conclusion, I went into it wanting to hate the remake. I wanted to hate it. You heard him? Yeah, he's yelling. I wanted to hate the remake. I really did. I went into it wanting to hate it, and it felt so much like it. It was like if you had an amazing, amazing lover who you loved so much, and she died, and then her crazy fucking twin 20 years later like showed up in your life and started fucking you, and it was like, this is actually pretty good.
Yeah, like wow, if you close your eyes and like concentrate real hard, you can almost pretend.
Almost like, yes, almost like I'm fucking her. It's cool, but it's like you'd think in 20 years she would have gotten better, but it's like, oh, but wait, you're not the same person though. So I don't know why I'm expecting that. Why I'm expecting any of those flaws to be different. I don't know. Maybe that's a really bad metaphor, and I'm just like projecting a crazy kink. Oh, by the way, something I read today that was really funny is, dude, it was kink shaming is my kink. I thought that was really funny, and I thought that you would like that. Kink shaming is my kink.
That's ridiculously meta.
It's so meta, I love it. But yeah, my kink is fucking the twin of another deceased twin that you already fucked 20 years later. That's my new kink. And that is how I feel about the Secret of Mana remake. That's my kink. It's worth, so bottom line, if you are a diehard Secret of Mana fan, absolutely worth playing just for a new take. It's like listening to not a shitty cover, and not a mediocre cover even, but like a decent cover. It's like when a band covers a song and they
doesn't
do
add their own
absolutely
twist
nothing
to it,
new.
and
Yes!
they just
Oh my God!
Yeah, and
Yes!
you just marvel at how much it sounds exactly like the original. You're like, oh wow,
And
this is
that's
kind of
okay.
impressive. It's not
I
really
like-
adding anything or bringing anything new to the table in terms of the experience of it, but you know, this is fine too. This is good.
I'm trying to think. I like a cover that is very faithful to the original as much as I like a cover that's fucking wildly different. Well, actually, no. A cover that's wildly different and does it better is amazing.
Well, I'll say this: I prefer a cover that's faithful to the original over a cover that tries to do something wildly different and fails.
Yes, 100%, for sure. Yes. So in that regard, this is like a band who is less talented doing a straight cover of the original. That's it. That's it. They're a less talented band doing a straight cover of the original. So it's like, well, I still love the song and I'm still singing along, but like, I don't have the chills that I think I should have, and like, I don't know, all the issues with the original song. It's like, oh, the bridge still sucks though. Like, you guys knew the bridge sucked. You clearly have played this song enough times to know the bridge sucks, but you played the bridge exactly like the original, and you changed up the intro, which was awesome.
Yeah, and then added a guitar solo to like the fucking, you know, to the post-chorus right at the end of the fucking song, and that did not need it in any way, and most people have already hit stop and moved on to the next track by that time anyway.
Oh my God.
That's like, that's very interesting that what you started to say at the beginning of that rant was that you might think that if the more of a fan of the original that you are, the more likely you would be to dislike the remake, but it's actually the reverse.
It is actually the reverse. If you're not a fan of the original, you should not play the remake. You should go play the original.
Absolutely not.
You should not even touch the remake if you have never played the original. Don't bother. It is a mistake. Play the original. The graphics are better. The music is better. The dialogue still sucks, but it sucks less, and you won't be plagued by this bullshit in scenes.
It's still a discombobulated, fucking barely decipherable mess of a game in a lot of ways, but at least when you play the original, that fucking barely comprehensible mess seems like it seems intentional.
It seems so. Where can our loyal listeners get this game? Wii eShop?
Wii? No. What year are you in?
Is that closed? Can you not get things off Wii eShop anymore?
Fuck no, I doubt it. I think they fucked up. They shut all that shit down. Remember?
What about Wii U eShop?
No, that shit's all gone.
Wii U eShop is gone? So, okay, well, in that case,
it didn't come out on any fucking Nintendo systems also, which...
Yes, it did. It totally was on one of the eShops, bro. We owned it.
No. I'm talking about the remake.
Oh, yeah, which is very funny. Because it should have had home on Switch. Can you imagine Joy-Cons with that shit? What were they thinking?
Yeah, again, like, just another fucking... another fucking... Just 5 more points off its total fucking score. Like, we could have put this on the Switch, which with the Joy-Cons and the modular nature of the whole fucking system, it's portable and everything, would have been a natural fucking fit. But instead, no. We put it on
PS4.
PC and PS4.
PC!
Yeah.
PC! What the fuck? That's just lazy. They're just lazy. They're lazy. Dude, Square Enix is second to Konami only because they never destroyed someone like Kojima. Like, fuck Square Enix straight up their asshole. I don't think... All right, I have one Square Enix game. I have Octomom. But otherwise, you know what? Square Enix, where that Squaresoft logo used to be, like, when I saw that logo, I was like, oh my God, I'm home. Everything's okay. But fuck Square. Dude, Enix is the better half of Squeenix now. Square does, like, although...
Ooh. That's
I know.
bold
What a
fucking
diss, right?
statement. Wow.
What a diss. What a diss. However, I will say that the announcement of the new Final Fantasies. Oh, that's what I want to talk about. First, Switch is a good thing. But first, I want to say this thing I almost texted you earlier, but I wanted to actually discuss it. Well, first, before we get into that, a little guide in here. How does my voice sound?
Oh my God! How did I not notice at all?
Is it different? Can you notice?
Yeah.
Can you tell?
Yeah, it sounds fucking great.
Dude, that's awesome. I am rocking. I have upgraded.
Tell me you're using the ear pods from the iPhone fucking XS.
Well, I mean, what? It's not. It's the headset. It's just the headphones.
Yeah, the ear pods.
It's the headphone. It's the same shit I was using, just it plugs into lightning.
Like earbuds, except ear pods.
I don't think it's those. I think it's the phone. I don't think it's the headphones. I think it's the phone, dude.
But you have them plugged in, which would mean that you're using the microphone that's built into it.
Yes. But I think the quality. Well, I suppose the quality of audio is probably. Dude, it has to be the mic plus the audio processing system, which is the phone. I bet if I put this shit up to my ear, it would sound better than it did with the headphones and the 6S Plus.
Interesting.
And
those definitely sound a lot better.
That's awesome. I can't wait to hear it. Dude, let me tell you something. XS Max, wow, what a quality of life upgrade. This phone is absolutely stellar. Oh my God, I'm so glad I waited for an upgrade because this is the shit. Also, I'm getting $130 for my old phone. I feel like that's so shitty, but they're only going for about 200 online.
Wait, and what model is your old one?
6S Plus, 64 gig.
I can't believe you're getting that fucking much for it. Holy
I'm getting
shit.
130 trading credit. Although I went to the Apple store the other day because
they're like, hey, fuck off.
my friend who was visiting from Poland fucking wanted to buy a phone because iPhone. My friend wanted to buy an XS.
Oh, if she's going back to Poland, you don't want to buy a U.S. phone.
No, well, I mean, it's unlocked. It doesn't matter. She can use it. It's fine.
Yeah, but if anything happens to it, as a general rule, iPhones need to be serviced in the country that they were sold in.
I mean, while that may stand to reason, I mean, it's Poland. It's like fucking. First of all, they don't even have Apple stores there. They have Apple licensed retailers.
Yeah, what we call AASPs, or Apple Authorized Service Provider.
So they So
just as likely to tell you to go fuck yourself as they are to actually honor your warranty or anything. So
it costs about 300 USD more for an XS in Poland. So
wow,
like a boss, she walked in there, copped that shit off the super honey who served us. She was like, "So are we going to talk about financing?" And she was like, "No, I'm going to pay this right now." And swipe that card
all
for a
cash
fucking,
like a fucking baller.
Swipe that card for a cool grand, like it was nothing. I was like, that's a baller move.
Holy shit!
But they did explain.
I'm glad that you mentioned that. If I ever saw someone swipe a debit card for $1,000 fucking charge, I'd be like, holy shit.
Yeah. So what was cool was that the person at the store was like, yo, you realize you don't ever buy phones from the provider because we will do the financing and shit will help. Although the financing was more. The financing starts at like 50 and mine is 30 a month. So I feel like that wasn't the case, but at the same time, it was a very convincing argument. But
it depends on who your carrier is, what sort of like financing and shit they give you, and like how good your credit is and stuff like that. Because I'm almost positive that if I went into an Apple store and was like, "Hey, let me finance this iPhone fucking 10," they'd be like, "Suck a dick. Your fucking credit is a fucking pile of garbage," you know. Whereas T-Mobile, since I've been a customer of theirs for like 6 years, they're kind of like forced to let me do it.
Right. I mean, I don't know. I was also thrown because the fucking girl was so insanely hot. I was like,
"Oh, trying to maintain."
Whoa, girl.
Coming in awful fast. How you doing?
Yeah, she was talking about she never wants to have kids because she wants to just party all the time and be the cool aunt. And I was like, you might have a kid if you keep talking. You better be careful.
Keep running your mouth like that.
Keep running your mouth.
You might wake up and find yourself preggers real bad.
I know. I might accidentally drop my phone in the next couple days.
Yeah,
so I have to go back.
You know, might just find a reason to have to mosey on back into your fucking domain.
Yeah, your local Apple store to get some local Apple pussy.
That would be very impressive.
What?
You managed to crack a chick at a fucking at an Apple store.
I mean, they're just a fucking Apple employee, just a woman like any other woman. They got needs.
Actually,
they gotta
now that I
fuck.
think about it, you're probably stand a higher chance of being able to pull that off in an Apple store as opposed to like a Whole Foods or something, or whatever the equivalent of an Apple store would be somewhere else.
Yeah, the grocery equivalent of Apple. Well, before I get too deep into talking about how I'm gonna impregnate the girl at the Apple store, oh my God. Okay, so back to the second guy, Dan. I almost texted you earlier that I feel as though I don't want to say that we're a Nintendo-centric podcast, because we're not. We just spent like fucking 40 minutes talking about Secret of Mana on PS4. However, we do always start sliding back to Nintendo, and I'm wondering if like we should be steering into the skid here. I'm not saying we need to make a decision now. I'm just saying it's food for thought. I'm just saying if any of our devoted listeners who like to tell us how unfunny we are fucking checking this shit out, I think maybe consideration on like, I don't ever want to be limited to, oh, dude, we can only talk about Nintendo to talk about that. But at the same time, we are like really, really Nintendo focused. And a lot of that is the fact that it's the only system I own and I can't even play Steam anymore because I was playing on my work computer and I was forced to upgrade and I can't put Steam on the new version.
Also, like PS4 and Xboxes, they're just, I don't know, at least to me, they're just so interchangeable. They're both just black boxes that mimic a gaming PC as close as they possibly fucking can while still costing less than $500 fucking dollars. I mean, that's like, that's really all they are. I mean, sure, I always have at least one of them every fucking generation because inevitably there's enough games released for one of those systems that I want to play that makes it worth getting at least one of them, but I never really pay any attention to it. I'm never like, oh yeah, my PS4, oh fuck yeah, my Xbox 360, bitch. No, I'm just like, oh, there's that fucking dumb box that I use.
Yeah, here's this
that
black
I have
box
because I want to play
yeah.
these fucking games and I have no other way to fucking play them, right? Whereas like a Nintendo system, for better or for worse, is always like a thing. Whether it's a GameCube with a silly fucking handle on it, or or a Wii with an overclocked fucking GameCube GPU in it, and some.
Is that what it was?
That's exactly what it was, and some weird waggle gimmicky motion controls, or a Wii U with the big plastic fucking fucking Fisher Price sort of fucking screen that didn't even work 20 feet away from the goddamn base of it. Regardless of what form it takes, or even go back further, a fucking N64 with a controller that had 3 grips on it. More grips than you have hands.
Dude, it's like Switch is their first good system since Super Nintendo. If you really, in retrospect, there is no chance I will look back at Switch in the future and say this is a bad system. Not a fucking chance.
No, see, the thing with the Switch is that it actually justifies not only its existence, but the specific state and manner in which its existence manifests, right? The form factor of it, what the console's capable of, its features and everything, it actually truly justifies it in every aspect. Wow. And I feel like the last Nintendo system that you could really say that about with complete fucking confidence was, GBA SP, or a DS if you want to go handheld.
Okay. Yeah. Handheld aside.
And even then, the DS barely would still fit in that category, because
today, no.
Because regardless of how well they somehow, by some miracle, made it fucking work, everyone knows that the second screen and the touchscreen was a fucking gimmick. Everyone fucking knows that.
Dude, I know, right? Yo, I wish anybody would
talk
about me the way you talk about the Switch and the justification of its existence.
I think I sometimes talk about you like that.
You do. You actually, you're right. You do.
I probably.
I mean,
yeah, that's
dude, talking about justifying its own existence. I was inspired by that little fucking Braveheart speech. That was fucking nice, dude. That was a little bit of a goosebumps chiller. Talking about how the Switch justifies its own existence.
But I mean, dude, it really, really, truly does, in a way that if you disregard handhelds, no other Nintendo system really fucking has since the Super NES. If you think about it, all their systems in between then have, for the most part, kind of been pice.
Dude, the N64 had a vestigial D-pad. That's insane. The only game I ever played that needed the D-pad was Mischief Makers, which was the best game on N64.
It was a pretty decent D-pad, though, to Nintendo's credit. It was a decent D-pad.
Nintendo, didn't they come up with the D-pad?
The decentness of the D-pad rendered almost utterly and completely obsolete by the fucking weird, insane, fucking non-Euclidean fucking nature of the goddamn fucking controller's design, right? But it was pretty good for what it was.
Dude, was the D-pad a Gunpei Yokoi invention?
That I don't know. I
believe
I'm
it was.
almost positive that it's definitely a Nintendo thing, but whether it's attributed to him specifically, although I mean most people think of him as like the the Game Boy guy and shit like that, but he holds. I'm pretty sure he's the designer for a shitload of those old Nintendo fucking patents and stuff like that.
Dude, it was. Dude, Yokoi-san invented the D-pad. Hold on, real quick.
Man, that guy's a fucking legend.
Real quick.
In so many ways.
Let's do a quick tribute to Yokoi-san, who we've just passed the 21st anniversary of his death at age 56, when he was tragically, are you aware of how he died? Are you familiar with this?
I feel like it was something random and insane, like a car accident or something fucking
crazy. Okay, even worse. He was a passenger in a car with, I guess, a coworker or whatever. They got in a car accident. They got out to check the cars out. Another car hit them and fucking destroyed him. So people thought it was a fucking Yakuza hit, but there was no evidence to indicate that, because people were like, oh, he was disgraced because of fucking Virtual Boy. It wasn't like that, because he was balling, dude. He left fucking Nintendo, went to Bandai, and invented Wonder Swan.
You have things like the goddamn D-pad under your fucking belt, to your fucking credit, you can take a misstep, if we may minimize its failure to that extent. And
Virtual Boy?
Yeah.
Dude, Virtual Boy is so inconsequential.
In order to call it a misstep, yeah.
Dude, no, let's real quick. All right, here's what Yokoi-san did. Okay.
All that shit to his fucking name, dude. Yeah, it's gonna take more than the goddamn Virtual Boy to.
No, exactly, and that's why it's insane.
To rob you of your honor.
According to Wikipedia, so Yokoi-san saw a bored businessman playing with an LCD calculator, pressing buttons on a train. Something only a Japanese salaryman would do. Is sit on the train just pressing a calculator. He's probably typing 8008S. Like, what a fucking asshole. He went on to create the Game & Watch because of that. Essentially, the birth of handheld gaming. In 1981, fucking ex-president Hiroshi Yamauchi, the predecessor of God-tier Iwata-san, appointed Gunpei Yokoi to supervise Donkey Kong.
Real recognize real.
Real recognize real. And Yokoi explained many of the intricacies of game design to one, Shigeru Miyamoto, at the beginning of his career.
Shigi-san!
And the project only came to be approved after Yokoi brought Miyamoto's game ideas to the president's attention. So Yokoi saw Donkey Kong and said, Yamauchi-san, you need to have faith in this crazy boy who spent his whole life roaming around in caves like a psychopath. You need to give him the chance to do this. So,
dude, a towering figure.
So they did Donkey Kong.
In the annals of video game history.
Yes.
A towering
He then worked with Miyamoto to create Mario Brothers. Yokoi-san proposed the multiplayer concept and convinced Miyamoto to give Mario superhuman abilities, like the ability to jump unharmed from great heights. After Mario Brothers, Yokoi produced Kid Icarus, Metroid, designed Rob the Robot, Game Boy, Virtual Boy, obviously, but there's more that Yokoi did. Let's see. Game Boy Pocket. He left Nintendo less than a year before his death, or a little over a year before his death, and then he led the development of the Wonder Swan, which was
also pretty fucking cold.
Massively popular in Japan, and the Wonder Swan color predated the Game Boy Advance significantly, and if I recall correctly, had a nicer screen than the Game Boy Advance. Wonder Swan ultimately was PICE. What was cool about it is you could also turn it on its side and use it for vertical shooters because it had 2 D-pads on the left side.
Like
dope.
Karuga.
Oh, speaking of which, bought that shit on Switch. It's off the hook.
Wait, they have Ikaruga for fucking Switch?
For like $10.
Damn.
Dude.
Good looking out.
Off the chain.
Dude,
it's so good.
Be praying.
Be praying. Dude, Son of Man. Warning, no refuge.
Be attitude for gains, dude.
Dude, be attitude for gains. What the fuck? Is that what they say after warning, no refuge in Radiant Silvergun?
Yeah.
Dude, I forgot about be attitude for gains. I can't believe you remember that. I completely forgot. Dude, be attitude for gains. What the fuck were they even trying to say? Like, I get it. What's insane is I understand the sentiment, but I have no clue.
The sentiment is keep your eyes peeled for fucking power-ups.
Dude, I don't think it's about, like, power-ups. I think it's, like, a motivational statement about, like, you need to be on your come-up.
Oh, interesting.
I don't think it's about, like, look, because also, if I'm not mistaken, there are no power-ups in Radiant Silvergun. You have all 6 guns from the start, which are the 6 face buttons of the motherfucking Saturn controller. And when you hit your bomb, you can use the Silvergun, which is, of course, a massive dual-blade screen-clearing sword bomb. So there are no power-ups, if I'm not mistaken. I don't believe there are any power-ups in Radiant Silvergun. There are no power-ups in Ikaruga, except unless you count the fucking orbs that drop from every enemy that you hit with the correct beam.
Oh god, Ikaruga is such a fucking insane game.
Dude, Ikaruga makes Radiant Silvergun look like a cakewalk. Although the last boss of Radiant Silvergun is a fucking bitch. Ikaruga is absolutely insane, and watching speedruns of that is so good. All right, Ikaruga, real quick. So let's talk about this game. Let's talk about wait. Dude, we're talking about all games built by Treasure, which was the company created by the people, if I'm not mistaken, who created Contra. They left Konami and they started Treasure. And Treasure only makes shooters, including Gunstar Heroes, Radiant Silvergun, never released in US, how's that possible? Ikaruga, Sin and Punishment,
Mischief Makers, Silhouette Mirage.
Mischief Makers, Silhouette Mirage. I don't know if I played that much Silhouette Mirage, but I definitely played the fuck out of Mischief Makers. I sure did, dude.
Yep.
And Sin and Punishment 2, but I never played that.
Gradius 5, or they were at least responsible for that version of it on PS2.
It wouldn't surprise me if they were responsible for, like, most of the Gradius series, since it started out on Konami. I wouldn't be surprised if that original team of, like, a couple crazy Japanese men were responsible for that too. So, Ikaruga, vertical shooter, so you're in a little spaceship, and all the enemies are either black or white. And if you're an asshole with that fucking blue gold dress thing, you also could consider them blue and red, but they're black and white. And you have a button that changes your polarity. So you switch your ship from white to black and black to white by pressing this button. All enemies shoot bullets of their same color. If you are white, you will absorb white bullets and it will charge your bomb meter. Black bullets will destroy you, but black beams from you will do more damage to white enemies. So the key is you use the opposite polarity to shoot enemies while switching to absorb the bullets.
Great example of a simple yet multiplicative gameplay design right there.
Oh, it's insane. It's insane. And you would think it would be easy with 2 people. Oh, one of you is black and one of you is white. No.
It's fucking insane.
No, because the way the enemies are I mean, it really is like a fucking I want to use the word symphony. because it really is so carefully orchestrated the way that they know that you would think that. And so instead, when you're ready and you're like, oh, we could be black and white, they'll just put an onslaught of white enemies. And just the bullets are so insane that you can't just go black, because it'll be like an onslaught of white enemies with a couple of black turrets on the sides that you can't even get to, shooting black bullets at you. So you have to be dodging while you're absorbing and killing shit. It is impossible, and the score is so intense. The score is absolutely magnificent.
The whole thing is fucking operatic.
The game is amazing.
Really...
Oh, I'll never forget, dude. There was one night when we were on acid. When I was like, Jesus, I guess that was probably around 2002, 2003.
It was in my father's old house.
Yeah, and you and another gentleman were playing that game when someone brought the cops to the house while we were on acid. And I remember scrambling up the stairs on my hands and feet, gasping for air to tell you this, while you guys were trying to beat Ikaruga. And I also remember you being like, okay, well... fuck those motherfuckers, y'all going to jail. I'm playing. I was like, all right, cool, I'm staying up here then. We're good. That was awesome. I remember being like, wow, Ikaruga is a really good game. I also remember going outside after that and seeing all the dots and bullets and beams and the stars and being like, whoa.
Yeah, the other dude that we were playing that with, like, we were holding our own playing it, but the other dude we were playing it with got into some sort of Zen LSD sort of heightened mind state and just began fucking cruising through the entire game over and over and over with seemingly like zero difficulty.
You beat that?
Maybe not that night, but the other guy we were playing with absolutely did.
Maybe we should call him PSX.
That bears too much of a similarity to my actual initials.
Yeah, I suppose. Dude, remember when they released an actual PSX?
What, like the small ones?
No,
you mean
dude.
the big white boxes that had like CD burners or something?
Yeah, oh my god, is that what it was? Was it a CD burner?
Something fucking random in Japanese.
Because it was a PlayStation 2, I think. Hello?
What the fuck?
Oh, I think I accidentally closed the phone when I put it in my pocket. My bad.
You pile of shit.
I think that was the fates telling us that nobody wants to hear about PSX.
Oh yeah, it's a digital video recorder. That's a PlayStation 1 and 2, and was the first device to use Sony's fucking cross media bar XMB graphical user interface.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. I mean,
that's barely interesting.
It's barely fuck that. Well, also PS2 played PS1 games, so it was a PS2 with a fucking CDR. I mean, and what are you burning? How could you burn anything? What are you burning?
To be completely honest, I don't even know what a digital video recorder actually is or was.
Oh, maybe it's just a DVR, bro.
Looks like it.
I don't know, dude. Whatever. Fuck all that.
How the hell did we even get to that?
I don't know. Let's go back to the original point after we did the double guide ends, which was Final Fantasy announcements for Switch.
Oh.
Let's talk. Let's dish. What are the announcements? What are the games? What's coming in 2019 from Square Enix to Switch? What are they going to do to ruin my wallet and save my life?
Let's see.
What you got? You got a list for me?
Aside from fucking Crystal Chronicles, I'm assuming, right?
Well, that would be one of them.
And
I'll thank you to check your tone.
You gotta give it to him, dude. Like, that takes some fucking sick.
Right? Stop trying to make Crystal Chronicles happen. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, it's not gonna fucking happen. Like, seriously? From what fucking half drowned like fucking corpse long ago lost at sea did you dredge that fucking idea?
Oh my god, right? It's
Crystal
like, oh,
fucking
Jesus.
Chronicles, dude.
Dude, 2 for Glen Coco and none for Crystal Chronicles.
Like,
go, Glen Coco.
Like, what in the Crystal Chronicles? A game best summarized by the question, who wants to hold the bucket?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to play it. That's for sure. If my homie wants to fucking get down on some fucking CC, I am getting that
You're such
shit.
an iconoclast, Bobby.
Yo, I was
Thumbing
the
your
one.
fucking nose in the face of standard convention.
Bro, I was
won't
the
be,
one who was
you're not
pushing
gonna be,
Crystal Chronicles. We all played that one time because
yeah, and it was
fucking
such
bought
a
it.
nightmare to fucking coordinate with all those stupid GBAs and GBA cables and the goddamn fucking GameCube with its stupid fucking handle. And then
so
once we got
stupid.
all that shit to fucking together, what were we greeted with upon finally starting up the game? A bucket.
The bucket.
That
Yeah,
someone
carrying bucket.
needs to fucking carry.
What was the point of that?
If I recall correctly, the whole map, the whole game is covered in something called like a miasma.
Miasma,
some
yeah.
other
I
stupid
remember
fucking
the gameplay reason,
MacGuffin
but why would
or
they
whatever.
do that?
And the bucket creates a bubble where you can walk and not take damage.
But why? Why is that a gameplay element?
Because the people who designed the game were fucking out of their goddamn minds.
Was that the only way they could figure out to force everyone to be standing close to each other?
It was a weird time, dude. And you know what? I wonder if those were the same people who went on to design the first iteration of Lunar for DS. A game in which, if you recall, while being a pretty standard JRPG in almost every sense, it had one main noticeable difference. Whenever you moved, you took damage.
What?
Yes.
Dragon Song?
Yes.
You took damage?
As you walked around the world map, you took damage.
That's insane.
As though you were poisoned or something in some other normal JRPG designed by a sane person. Except
why?
No one knows. No one ever was able to figure it out, dude. And I'm willing. It's that exact kind of madness that that fucking Crystal Chronicles displayed also.
All right, well,
that
clearly
precise
that's one
kind
you're
of
not excited about.
Unhinged fucking unadulterated insanity that I can't even I can't. Part of me feels as though you are only trying to get yourself psyched up for it simply because it's so goddamn fucking awful. And you want to
like it.
I know.
I really want to like it. I like the idea of like everyone on their own screens managing their inventory.
What part of its idea did you like?
I like the idea of everyone managing their own inventory on their own little screen, which of course is not going to occur on the Switch version.
So you like the idea of an RPG that's multiplayer in which, in order to play it, every person playing needs to have their own device that has a screen on it.
Yeah, that's super cool. And I also think what's cool is that it was a menu-based active battle system. So you're choosing what abilities you're using from the. If I recall correctly, you're still picking your abilities from a menu, but it's in real time. I think that's cool.
What, like you're playing fucking
original.
FF6 with a second controller?
No, because it's still active time battle, and you still have your turn where you could take a million years.
Oh, in
Crystal Chronicles, it was if I recall correctly, it was all real time, but with menus. So you move around, you press a button.
Anything about that game?
I
remember
think that is
the
the case.
bucket, and that's it.
Well, part of the reason I was so psyched about it, dude, was because it was if I recall correctly, it was the first.
It's amazing how many of the things that we mention hinge upon
if I recall correctly,
our recollection
correct
being
recollection.
correct.
I believe that it was the first home console Nintendo Square Enix game that was released.
I don't know about that, but it was definitely the first Final Fantasy to come back to a Nintendo system.
I'm gonna say I do know about that because
since Nintendo burned themselves down at the hands of fucking Square Enix and fucking Sony back with the N64.
Which, I mean, in 2018, they're laughing all the way to the bank because fucking Octomom sold over 1 million copies in about 2 months.
I don't know if that one game selling well is enough to have them laugh all the way to the bank.
I mean, it's a game that, dude, in retrospect, in the future, I think Octomom is one of those games where we're going to be like, yeah, that game sucked dick. We're going to be like, that game's graphics were awesome, but it sucked ass. The music sucks, the story sucks, the dialogue sucks, the combat is samey. I can't even get past through the chapter 3s and chapter 4s because it's just like just a meaningless
I got
grind.
stuck in the first chapter 2 that I started to play. I got stuck at the end boss of it, and normally in another RPG, any other RPG, if I got stuck in it, it would usually be the plot, the story, the characters, whatever, that would motivate me to go, oh no, dude, you want to see what happens. You want to, you want to see the rest of the story, right? Don't you want to play the rest of the story? Yeah, all right, go grind. It's going to be worth it. But in Octomom, I was just like, no thanks. I tried a small handful of times to pick it back up and try grinding and shit. And then I died in a fucking cave, like immediately, like fucking 9 times in a row. And I was like, you know what?
No, I'm trying to work my way through it every time. I'm like,
the thing is that it's almost so fucking good.
It's almost amazing.
It's almost fucking amazing.
But it ultimately,
but instead, it's kind of pice.
Ultimately, yeah, I think we're gonna. I think the history will.
The game is very charismatic pice.
I think history will reflect and say that it is pice. I think that in a year, 2 years, 3 years, we're going to look back and be like, Octomom sucks. It's a great effort, and I'm proud of them for selling 1 million copies. I do think they swindled everybody by pushing a fucking stripper as the main character, and with the amazing graphical style, which I will give them that. The graphics are absolutely stellar.
Well,
unbelievably cool.
If all that it did was show Square Enix like, hey, maybe you ought to reconsider putting some other games on this fucking platform, then it was a success and worth it. And given what we're fucking talking about, or what we're trying to talk about, the announcement of Final Fantasy titles coming to the Switch, it seems like it did that job. So that's pretty fucking good.
I mean,
seems like everybody wins in the long run, except for those of us who spent fucking $60 on that fucking mediocre JRPG. When, as it's turning out, I Am Setsuna for like $30 is actually way better.
I'm already
even
thinking
though
about,
on the surface it does not appear as though that would be the case.
I'm already thinking about buying it.
You'll like it more than Octomom.
I mean, it's a Chrono Trigger tribute. I don't care if it's all in the snow, if it's a straight up JRPG and I can just grind through it and not have to worry about.
It's executed competently enough and confidently so that it's just your basic run of the mill fucking JRPG and you'll enjoy it. So I would recommend it. It's fucking cool. And plus, there's fun novelties in it and shit like that. Like, dude, it does not get old going and performing the fucking X Strike tech on enemies in battle and shit like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's cool. I'm just like, whatevs.
Well, I'm not saying that's a reason in and of itself to play it. But I am saying, it's a well-executed JRPG, competently done, and there's a bunch of little fun, like, throwback bits of nostalgia and, little sort of hint, hint, wink, wink at the audience, like, hey, remember Chrono Trigger?
Yeah, which is like, okay, remember Chrono Trigger? It's like, yeah, dude, I remember Chrono Trigger. Like,
yeah.
Hey, look, we're like Chrono Trigger, dudes. Hey,
like, I remember Chrono Trigger,
kids.
but for some reason, I don't remember Chrono Trigger having this much snow.
Yeah. Did Chrono Trigger have any snow?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, on
Zeal
Death Mountain or Mount Doom.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, and yes, all of fucking 12,000 or 1,200, whatever it was, AD was...
So, let me just make an attempt to sort of, however violently, get this train back on the tracks a little bit.
Final Fantasy.
7, 9, 10, 10-2, and 12.
And 10 and 10-2 are supposedly one package, which I think is huge. Huge news. If they release that for $40, they'll sell 10 billion copies.
I mean, I own like literally 3 copies of 10 on PS2. I own the remaster of it on fucking PS3, and I own the remaster of it on goddamn fucking PS4 also. And I probably, not even exaggerating, bought a minimum of 4 copies of FF12 for PS2 also. Because for some reason over the last 10 years I kept fucking losing it. And you could just go into GameStop and buy another copy of it for like $8.
All right, well.
And also the dress sphere in X2 will make you lose your mind.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. I like that. Is it all female characters?
Yeah. It's Riku, Yuna, and the new one, fucking Pain. With an E.
Of course, her name's Pain with a Y and an E, right?
Like, you have enough creativity and imagination to come up with all these sprawling worlds and sagas and myriad of characters and stories and the Final Fantasy worlds and all this kind of crap. And with all of that, you couldn't come up with a better name for a character than Pain with a fucking E. And of course, her personality, she's all like the tortured, stupid goth character.
Of course, I already knew it.
Except she's not as good at being a goth character as fucking Lulu.
Yeah, who's great.
Who's great. Absolutely.
Dude, yeah, that's so dumb. I mean, I also remember the storyline of 10, when it came out, I thought it was absolutely fucking amazing. It's kind of shit.
Dude, I would not, dude, don't do that. Don't do that. I was riveted to my fucking PS2. We all were.
I thought the story was amazing.
When
but
that game first fucking came out.
I loved it. I thought it was a shame that they didn't show them actually fucking when he fucks her.
I don't know if I would classify that as a shame.
They should show them fucking, dude.
Well, I mean, they have a nice little
all right,
kiss in the
massive FF10 spoilitos. The game is 17 years old, so fuck you if you haven't played it. Suck a dick. It actually, we're coming up on the 17th anniversary, because I believe it came out somewhere around October 23rd of 2001. So we were rolling into the 17th anniversary of FF10. So the storyline is about a guy who he's actually the Faith, right? He is the Faith. So what is the Faith?
I think he's a dream of the Faith, or the Faith.
He's a dream of the Faith, but what does that even mean?
I don't know. I have absolutely I think it means that he's a fucking plot device.
Yeah. Or they could just,
old man.
Oh man, dude, Jekt, dude, the Jekt shot. Dude, Jekt was off the hook, dude. When you had to fight evil Jekt, who is giant and shit. Remember that shit?
Yeah.
He was one of the last bosses. Wasn't he like second to last before Sin? And dude, Sin, which is like this like fucking Lovecraftian creature that is neither good nor evil.
It's a Lovecraftian fucking sphere.
Dude, Sin wasn't a spear.
Yeah, he was. It was absolutely. Yeah, well, to be fair, Sin had many forms.
Dude, Sin was a sphere. Sin was like a blob of ooze that shapeshifted.
No, it was a sphere, dude. When you first see it, it's a sphere with a bunch of.
Dude, when you first see Sin, it is not a sphere. It's this big blobulous slug-like creature. Although I have no problem with the sphere. That's very Lovecraftian in and of itself. But it wasn't. It was like an amorphous blob.
I'm about to bring your whole shit fucking tumbling down, bro.
No, you're about to bring your own shit tumbling down. Just check yourself.
Right,
you wreck yourself.
Go open the file.
What does that even mean? What CSI NYC bullshit is this? Go open the file.
I don't know. I just dragged the shit from my web browser into fucking Skype. Yeah, that would be nice.
I like your fucking Gibson.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Oh, here we go. Oh, thanks for sending me a bitmap, dude. Thanks. I have not seen the extension BMP
there you go.
this year. Okay, good. Because I'm not
downloading that. What does that look like to you?
Dude, I don't think that's Sin though.
It absolutely is. That's fucking Sin rising over the fucking the Blitzball fucking match at the beginning of the game.
That is the Blitzball arena.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. It's the Blitzball Arena. They play in a sphere of water. That's the Blitzball Arena.
In a sphere of water that's like connected to the rest of a fucking of a structure.
Dude, oh my god. Oh
Man,
my god.
I would not have seen us getting into this particular argument.
No. Don't you even worry about that. I'm fucking jumping over. I'm jumping over to a video right now. Thank God. I can't believe we're at a point where I can argue with you and just hop on over. Oh my god. I don't want to see any of this fucking bull. Oh Jesus, Titus. You're such a lame-o. Okay, so here's. All right, hold up. So. Okay, you're right. Okay, so the Blitzball thing is in the arena. All right, I might get treated right now. No, wait. All right, here comes. Here comes.
Brace for impact, dude.
Here comes. All right, here's him kicking the stupid. Dude, do you remember how much Blitzball you had to play? Okay.
Ezra do it all for me.
All right, nope. You're right. I stand corrected. That's definitely sin. Shooting out like laser beams and blowing shit up from the sphere. Okay, fine. But it's, dude, that's one time it shows it's a sphere.
I'm pretty sure it's more than once that it's a sphere.
No, it's always this slug creature. You fight it as a slug creature.
No, dude. I mean, you fight it in many, many different forms.
I fight you in many different forms.
I mean, that's true.
Son
Not
of a
our
bitch.
eternal fucking battle across the heavens.
Across the heavens, yeah. Oh God. Oh, how do I beat this? So wait, what else is coming to Switch?
A bunch of shit. Oh my God.
I don't know. They're gonna run me out of money. Switch is gonna bankrupt me like a cruel ex-wife.
Not quite like a cruel ex-wife.
I'm in big trouble with Switch, dude. I mean, but Switch seriously though has saved me a fortune. The amount of time I've spent inside playing Switch instead of going to bars.
I was about to say, if I did not know almost for a fact that money that you are currently spending on Switch stuff would instead be spent on things that were merely fleeting and not actual physical, tangible items and things that you could enjoy for many, many moons to come, you know? Like it's much better to fucking have like a Switch game than it is to have like, you know, 6 shots of fucking Jack or something.
I mean, well, I'd like to do
everything in its right place.
Both. I'd like to do both, but if I can have only one or the other, financially speaking, I will take the Switch every time.
Yeah, it's just.
And my library right now is nuts because, again, I've said this before, but the magic of getting this thing a year and a half later is that shit is going on sale every time. Like Butcher, which I'm playing right now, which is awesome, and you might actually really like Butcher. There's no rogue elements. It's just a 2D hardcore lo-fi pixel shooter where you use the right stick. You move the right stick and it gives you a crosshair that you can move 360 degrees. Left trigger jumps, right trigger shoots. That's it. Assault rifle, shotgun,
I'm looking at it
chainsaw.
right now. This is a great example of the kind of thing that would like completely engross you, and like if you handed it to me, I'd be like, oh hey, this is cool, and it would hold my attention for like maybe 20 minutes up to a maximum of like an hour, but like I would never buy it and play it.
I don't understand that. I don't understand how every single game that I've got that you were just like, all right, I'm gonna read you my games list, and you're gonna tell me, which is awesome, by the way. I want you to tell me like how you feel about these games. And just real quick, in terms of like I've beaten it, I would play it to completion. I'd play it for 10 minutes. I would never play it. I'd watch it. I don't care, whatever. I mean, you have become much more tolerant of games as you have grown in wisdom and years, for sure. However, we still are like incapable of playing the same games. So let me run through my Switch list real quick. All right, Butcher, you already said. You feel like you play for 10 minutes, which is insane to me because it seems like the kind of game that you would get some fun out of because it's just a fucking side-scrolling shooter. That's it. It's just a shooter. There's nothing to it. Just a shooter. All right.
Yeah, and I would pick it up from time to time and play it for a little while and enjoy it, but I would never be like...
asshole.
I don't know.
All right, Breath of the Wild.
Obviously, I played that more than you.
Enter the Gungeon.
Ooh, that has intrigued me. I've seen enough shit on it where I've gotten to the point where now I'm actively thinking maybe I should check that out. It seems really, really cool, but it's also like mostly a bullet hell type of thing, and I'm not sure if it would just drive me insane before I would find the actual fun in it. But
I mean, that's really what it is. It's essentially the Binding of Isaac with guns, and also it's a bullet hell. It's a roguelike.
But I'm already at the point where I'm at least even wondering about that. So
that's so weird. Why that one? It's well, whatever. I mean, it's absolutely fucking fantastic. It's unbelievably good.
Something about the art style, the aesthetic, and the fact that there's like there's a few weapons that are named after guns in Warhammer 40,000 in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool. I mean, there's like 400 guns. It's fucking insane how much shit there is in this game. It's absolutely ridiculous. And
there's a 40k fucking Space Marine bolter in there.
Oh my god! Wow, cool.
Yeah, it has some flavor text that like is basically just alluding to Warhammer 40k while not saying directly.
My best run so far, I picked up a fucking proton pack.
Oh, it's shit like that, dude. When you say the last time I played it, I picked up a proton pack, that immediately makes me think, oh man, maybe I should play that.
Dude, it is like a pixel perfect beam, and it's a very strong weapon. So you just drop this beam on a boss and just lay into him with the proton pack. Cross the streams, motherfucker. It is pixel fucking perfect. It looks exactly as it should. It's so satisfying. Okay, so got that. Next one.
Dude, there are a few things that the addition of a proton pack would not be able to fucking sway my opinion.
Right? Let me get that proton pack pussy.
That proton puss, dude.
Proton puss. All right, Binding of Isaac.
I feel like if I haven't tried it at this point, I probably never will.
Okay, The Way.
What's that?
To be fair, I bought it because it was like $2. It's a pixel art, like it looks like it's like a.
Although I do love the aesthetic and the art style and everything about Binding of Isaac,
it's awesome.
I find it very, very impressive.
Dude, The Binding of Isaac is about this kid whose mom gets a message from God that says she has to murder him.
Yeah, so I didn't know how truly fucking twisted it was until very recently.
Yeah. So he has to descend into the basement and fight through so he can kill her. So he can kill his mom. And ultimately, as you beat the game more and more, it unlocks deeper floors where you go down and fight Satan and shit, and even more than that. Game is absolutely, that is the best. Binding of Isaac is the best roguelike of all time.
Great title.
It's incredible. I mean, dude, all the unlockable characters.
That works as a video game name, as a name for a novel, as a name for a fucking fanzine in like the mid fucking 90s. That could be a fucking movie. That's a band. That's a song title. It's an album name. Dude, Binding of Isaac, fucking great collection of words.
Actually,
right there.
Now that I look at it, the Switch icon, it's the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus, and the plus is a red cross.
Red cross on my arm.
So The Way is like it's like a side-scrolling 2D adventure. I haven't even really played it, but the art style is incredible. It was $2 on sale, so I bought it.
Can't hate on $2, dude.
And it looks like it's like a point-and-click adventure. Ikaruga.
Well, I mean, we already kind of went through Ikaruga.
Okay, Towerfall. Towerfall is the game that was made by Matt Makes Games, who went on to make Celeste. They recently released it for Switch with Madeline and part of me as playable characters. It's essentially a multiplayer joust.
Yeah, I'm
with
looking
archers.
at it. It's like it's cool. It's not my thing though.
I played it with 3 players last week, and we went berserk with it because it was doing the co-op because it was so fucking fun, and you can res each other and
basically,
shit.
If we're gonna be kicking it like 2D sort of side-scrolling pixel art type shit, for me, you gotta be firmly in one of two camps, right? Either you're in Super Mario World sort of shit, or you're in Castlevania / Super Metroid type shit.
What does that even mean?
It's got to be one or the other for me. Like, for instance, Celeste, right? It's cool. The gameplay is really fucking challenging. It's brilliantly designed. I love the art style. I love the way the story is told. Music, everything about Celeste is fucking awesome. However, the difficulty is just a little bit too punishing for me to really be able to actively fucking stick to.
You know what? I got 2 words for you, bro. Get good.
Yeah, well, I mean,
okay.
I'm not.
Dude, Celeste is an absolute, utter masterpiece.
Yeah, I just finished fucking saying that.
I'm still offended that you put a however in there.
It's not Celeste's fault that I am bad at games, especially that fucking kind.
No, it's your fault.
I become bored and or frustrated before I advance. To the next fucking
I
boards
wish
or
I could sit there with you and help you and be like, let's solve the puzzles. Dude, the storyline is so worth
Well, I
seeing.
mean, I think it kind of goes without saying that if we were in the same room playing any of these, my opinion towards pretty much all of them would be very, very, very fucking different. Right. But anyway, the point that I'm making is it either has to be something bright, colorful, and fun and easygoing and casually challenging like Super Mario World, or it needs to be hyper fucking atmospheric and very, very deliberately well paced and with a focus on some like sort of exploration and shit, and not so much on like fucking twitchy reaction times and shit.
I want to say that you're a dildo and tell you to fuck off, but it's a very, very, very fair and well-positioned argument.
I mean, I'm just explaining as best I can anyway what it takes for me personally to be invested enough into a game like this in order to have a chance of playing it to fucking completion. That has absolutely no fucking it shouldn't color in any way how I feel about the quality of any of these games or anything like that. This is completely fucking independent of them.
That's fair.
Celeste is fucking amazing. It's a fucking masterpiece. It's not Celeste's fault that I'm not good enough at those type of fucking games for it to hold my attention. To its credit, Celeste did pretty much absolutely everything feasible or like possible to make it approachable to somebody like me. It did everything it fucking could. And it's really not its fault that it fell just a little bit short of truly fucking grabbing my fucking attention. Right?
It's insane how much what you just said sounds like the way that I break up with women.
Maybe it's not that insane. Maybe it's fucking maybe it makes complete sense.
Your presentation is so great. And like you did everything you could to hold my attention, but I need to get good. Sorry. Well, the next game on the list is Celeste. Okay, after that is Hyper Sentinel, which was $1 and just some dumb shooter. It's not even worth talking about. Octomom Pile Driver.
Well, we've been through Octomom Pile Driver.
Okay, next is Dark Souls, the network test. And Dark Souls coming to a Switch near you next week for $40.
Well, about Dark Souls, what I will say is that it took Bloodborne to finally get me interested in actually playing any of those styled fucking games. So which means that there's not a good chance for the original Dark Souls to fucking do it.
Which is, dude, it's so funny because like I said when I was playing it out when I was seeing you, like I couldn't do it in Bloodborne, but after playing Dead Cells and Salt and Sanctuary, I was able to understand Dark Souls and understand the way that it's supposed to be played, where it's not just an action game and you really have to focus on each enemy and parry accordingly and be prepared to die over and over and over again. No. And I loved it.
Learning how to play a game like Dark Souls or Bloodborne is very, very similar. It's like acquiring the skill level needed to even be able to play those games is very similar to what it's like when you're learning an instrument for the fucking first time, right?
Yeah.
When you're first trying to learn how to play an instrument, you're sitting there like plucking at the strings or hitting the keys or whatever, and your mind is struggling desperately to try to understand or see a future where any of this makes any sense to you whatsoever and feels even remotely either like natural or even even controllable in any sense of the fucking word. And it feels that hopeless and confusing and lost right up until the very moment that something clicks and all of a sudden you feel comfortable holding the instrument.
Yeah, dude.
Dark Souls games are exactly fucking like that.
Amazing.
And just like with learning how to play an instrument, it's just a matter of not putting it down until you get to that fucking moment. That's all that it is.
Dude,
and
ladies
when
and gentlemen,
I was trying to learn how to play an instrument, I tried with a guitar when I was very young. I tried with a piano and shit. It wasn't until I fucking picked up a bass guitar that I was able to hold on to that fucking thing and not put it down for the amount of time needed for me to feel comfortable manipulating it. And then once I was able to do that, then I branched out into a bunch of other fucking instruments. But Dark Souls, Bloodborne, the same type of fucking thing, right? I tried, you probably remember, we, both of us tried a few times to get into Dark Souls, I think 2 for 360 maybe. And like, I could not do it. It was too frustrating. I didn't understand where I was or what the story was or what the fuck I was even supposed to be doing. Nothing made fucking sense. I didn't get it. But there's something about the severe Lovecraft everything just smeared super generously over every fucking goddamn inch of Bloodborne. Something about that shit. That, however, did have what it took to keep me holding that controller and playing that game until I got to that moment where all of a sudden I was like, oh, holy shit, now I fucking get it. Oh, goddamn. You know, like it seriously was a change so drastic that like for the first like 4 days of playing Bloodborne, I could not get past the second screen. And then all of a sudden, out of fucking nowhere, not only did I get past the second screen, but I was like fucking 8 hours into the fucking game before I even knew what was happening. So that's what I have. That's what I have to say about that.
Okay, I feel you. I think that's a great explanation of what makes the Souls game interesting. I'm really looking forward to finally getting my Souls shit going when this comes out, because I love the network test, even though it was. I mean, it's so fucking punishing. Oh my God, is it punishing? I didn't even beat, like, I don't think I even got to the boss. It's brutal, this fucking game. Brutal. But you have to also approach it differently, where each encounter, you're looking at all these enemies and thinking, I just got to murder them all. But each enemy is an encounter, and you have to ration them and pull. You have to pull, and you have to fucking parry and dodge and fucking do your critical strikes and shit. Like, it demands a lot out of you as a player. What I like about the Souls game is I was picking up shit, whereas in Bloodborne, you have your weapon and you get nothing, and that pissed me off.
Well, eventually in Bloodborne, you get to fucking not only, you get to fucking tweak your weapon and shit, and like, I don't know why I can't think of the right fucking word, but you get to add like gems and shit and adjust the stats and stuff like that on it, and you also get a whole bunch of other different types of fucking weapons and stuff too.
Are you looking maybe for augment?
Sort of. That's not quite. That's not quite it.
Okay, let's move on. Bloodstained, Curse of the Moon.
I mean, you're gonna fucking. I'm gonna sound like an unbelievable asshole for saying this, but like, I mean, yo, it just looks. It's fucking Castlevania for NES, bro. Like, I've seen it. I played it.
Oh my god, dude!
I am fully aware that that is not actually the case in practice with that game. The reality of that game is fucking as far beyond just basic Castlevania for NES as you could theoretically be, but I'm still gonna go ahead and describe it as such anyway, because that's how it looks to me. Now,
I mean, it is, but you watch me finish it.
When the full fucking game comes out, when the main one with all the, you know, the fancy artwork and all this fucking shit, when that shit drops, I will play the motherfucker out of that bitch.
Is that going to be the first game that we're going to play separately at the same time? Is that possible? Because we have not had one yet. That we've been playing at the same time. Not one.
It depends on whether or not that drops before RE2 Remake does.
Yeah, but I won't be playing that if it's not on Switch. How tragic is that?
Why in the back of my mind do I feel like it's a possibility they're going to announce that for Switch?
Because we're hopeful.
Maybe because I'm desperate and sad.
Yeah, because we're desperate and sad. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure I could cop a PS4 off fucking like Craigslist or Facebook ads for like $50 probably, but like I don't care because Switch is the shit, and I don't give a fuck about PS4 except that I want to play The Witcher.
Purchase worth it, I would say you would need to be able to name 5 games at the very least for PS4 that were not available on any other fucking system anywhere that you felt like you had to fucking play.
No, can't do it.
Yeah. Until you get to 5 games that you can put in that category, fuck it.
I think that's.
But yeah, I'd say
fair.
the Bloodstained is probably the first game that we're both going to be playing simultaneously.
All right, cool. I'm really excited about that.
Either
I can't
that
wait.
or Blasphemous, but Blasphemous still doesn't have a fucking.
Oh shit! Oh, I forgot about that shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
so fucking good.
Bro, am I excited about that? Oh my god, I can't believe that 1 year from now we're probably going to be like, yo, remember how good Blasphemous was?
Dude, I've been waiting for a game like in that sort of fucking style to grab me the way the last couple 2D Castlevania entries really did.
Yeah, which was that? It wasn't Order of Ecclesia. You didn't play that shit.
I tried. Nah, whatever.
Yeah, and you hated Portrait of Ruin.
Yeah. Portrait of Ruin fucking killed it for me.
Charlotte. I really was thinking earlier about how I really wish that I would have 2 kids as boy and girl and name them Jonathan and Charlotte just to do that.
What's another game that does that shit?
That calls out the name of the person?
Is it Resident Evil 0? Does it do that with Billy and Rebecca?
Oh, I don't know, dude. I never played it. I watched you play it for about a half an hour, and we fucked around with it for a little bit. That was it.
Blech.
I don't think they called each other's name. Can you active switch between them?
I don't even remember anymore.
I don't think so. Seems un-RE-like. I don't think there's any game where they call out the name of the character when you switch.
Un-RE-like pretty much describes all
Resident Evil, yeah.
Zeros.
Right? Yeah, everything about Resident Evil in general. Other than 1, 2, 3 to an extent.
Well, at this
Code
point,
Veronica,
it's like, what even is RE like? Are we referring to the original 1 and 2? Are we referring to fucking 7, 4?
Well, 2. Ultimately, we're talking about 2. 2 is what Resident Evil is.
Yeah, exactly. 2 is the pinnacle of that game design style.
Dude, that is the only game that ever refers to itself as survival horror. What the fuck is the thing it says when you first start?
Like, enter the survival horror or something.
It's like once again you delve into the world of survival horror madness or some shit like that. While that first chord plays before the fucking fire and
and you have to start madly juking on the fucking D-pad trying to get to your boy.
You gotta juke, dude. You gotta juke to get to kendo.
Sorry about that.
Sorry about that. Hold your fire. I'm human. Oh, sorry about that. So dumb.
Before I realized anything was wrong, the entire city was infested with zombies.
Oh my god, it's so bad, dude. So bad. It's one of the best games of all fucking time. I really hope that the remake
There's been some fucking like real extended gameplay videos dropping like over the last like week or so.
Dude, if the remake is 50% as good as I hope it is, it will absolutely hit my top 5 next year. If it's half as good, it'll hit my top 5.
Dude, it already is making itself appear, at least to me, like it's going to be better than RE4.
Oh, it will be. Is there going to be mercenaries?
I have no idea about any of that shit. I'm pretty sure they have yet to confirm whether or not there's going to be like hunk or tofu or anything like that.
They confirmed hunk and tofu.
And tofu?
Confirmed at launch, at reveal. At reveal. Wait, because you said that, and I trust your skepticism more than anything. I'm Googling.
I just feel like I haven't looked it up specifically, but I feel like if they had said something about like, oh, BT dubs, you will definitely be able to play as the hunk of tofu with a knife. Like, I feel like there's no way I would have been able to avoid hearing about that.
No, dude. Hunk and tofu, absolutely confirmed.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
100% confirmed. 100% confirmed. Although I will be fair and say that as shameful as it is, I have never beaten Hunk and Tofu's games because I think I've only.
I beat Hunk, dude.
How do you unlock Tofu? Do you need to get like an S rank on A and B for both characters in the same save slot?
Utterly insane. The kind of thing that we only would have done like 15 years ago as like a part of a massive group effort that involved like 48 straight hours and a lot of Adderall or something.
Dude, you and I could do that today, no problem. Dude, speed runs back when I was
no problem.
When I was young, the first game I ever speed run was Resident Evil 2, and I had a friend and I used to run it. Not only would we the way we speed run it was I printed out a speed walkthrough and I put it in a binder, and he'd read it to me as I played, and we had a fucking disposable camera that we would use to take screenshots.
Ooh, that's next level. I definitely had the game facts printed out in a fucking binder, though. Absolutely.
That's awesome.
I definitely had that shit.
Dude, that was like our Friday night. It was like, yo, come over. Let's speed run Resident Evil. I mean, we didn't call it speed running. We just called it like quick. I don't even know what we called. I don't think we even referred to it like that. But we were like, we're gonna play and beat it as fast as we can, and we're gonna try to beat it as many times in one night as we can do.
I feel like way back then, just the idea that you could sit down and play any game and up to and beat it was like kind of fucking impressive.
Insane. It was insane. I mean, this is about 1998, I guess.
Yeah, there's still a lot of fucking mysteries out there in the world.
Let's move on. I want to finish my list.
Games are concerned.
Next on the list is Undertale.
I will probably never play Undertale. I respect it for everything that I have heard about it and what it manages to accomplish and all that kind of shit, but like,
That's funny because it's the same way I feel about your dick.
I'm over this way. I feel like you would not be that apathetic about my dick.
I respect everything it's accomplished, but I'm just like, have I never seen your dick? How is that possible? We've known each other for like 20 years. Have I never seen your dick?
Well, it's kind of easy to avoid seeing someone's dick if they're not fucking throwing it all around.
I don't know. I'm sure you've seen my dick.
Yeah, because you send me pictures of it all the time.
Have I sent you dick pics for real?
Not like
flagrant like dick in hand pics, but like pics of me. Oh, I kind of remember a photo that Erica sent of me pissing once to have my dick in it.
Yeah, like that kind of shit. Like I've seen fucking Blake's dick before because he's passed out on his silly futon in the old crib with some bitch. Like, they're both like fucking ass naked, and then through the course of the night he ends up like on his back. So my poor unassuming ass needs to be greeted with that fucking horror show as I'm, you know, trying to go barefoot to the goddamn kitchen.
And here's
I need to be fucking assaulted with that fucking
with the small dick.
The small dick.
Okay, you're gonna really like this one. Nintendo Entertainment System for Nintendo Switch Online.
Dude, that can, man, fuck out of here with that shit, dude.
Well, if and when Bloodstained has a multiplayer component, you're gonna have to buy it. So get ready.
You know, at that point, it'll be about my daily budget for fucking Diet Mountain Dew and like cigarettes or whatever. So I'm pretty sure I'll be able to handle it.
Yeah. Okay. Next is Puyo Puyo Tetris demo.
I could not possibly be less interested in that.
Oh, here's a good one. Fortnite.
I could not possibly be less interested.
Here's the one game on my list that I really just don't get. Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate Demo.
I don't even know what any of those words mean.
Dude, you know Monster Hunter.
Yes, but I still to this day don't have a firm grasp of exactly what type of game those fucking games are. I do know enough that if I could get World for PS4 for very, very cheap, I would probably give it a shot.
I hear World is unbelievable.
Apparently it's very, very good.
But the issue I have is the actual combat. It never feels like you're connecting. Like worse than if you were playing WoW, where you're not actually striking, you're just pressing auto attack. You never feel like you're connecting. And when you're doing 3D action battling with giant monsters, it constantly feels like you're battling with the camera, graphics, and engine instead of actually striking a monster.
Oh god.
And it sucks.
Those are all the worst things about early 3D fucking games in general.
Yeah. It feels like dude, the hitboxes for everything are just wrong. And it's insane how sloppy it feels when there's so much about the gameplay that I'm like dying to be addicted to it.
Having that kind of visceral hit feedback and like the hitboxes being correct, those are the kind of things that I could never in a million years hope to explain to you what makes them correct and how to do it correctly, but I would know instantly if they were wrong.
Oh yeah, and it's wrong. It's wrong. It's bad. Dude, I put so much time into this demo because I really wanted to like it.
It's like that kind of thing, like if you're a good audio engineer, no one will notice your work. You know, if you're really good audio engineers, their work is pretty much fucking completely transparent to the average listener. The same goes for, you know, fucking people programming, you know, combat in-game gameplay engines and shit like that for 3D games. If you really know what the fuck you're doing, no one is even aware of your work on like a conscious level. They just fucking feel it. They're only aware of it if you've done something very poor.
No, I feel it and I hate it. Monster Hunter Generations is fucking garbage. It's garbage. Monster Hunter in general. This is not the first Monster Hunter game I've played. I felt the same way before. I tried it again, and I was like, wow, this is so cool. Look at all these items, and there's cooking and gathering and pets.
Yeah, but somehow they've never managed to get all of those elements and have them add up to something that I want to play.
Yeah.
For whatever fucking reason. It's one of those throwaway franchises that's just always there in the background off to the side. You can just kind of always rely on it. It's always there. They're always putting out new games, but I don't really understand it, and I'm not interested in it in any way. Kind of like Dynasty Warriors. Except I would say I know more about Dynasty Warriors than I do about Monster Hunter.
That's funny,
because I've actually played a Dynasty Warriors game.
Yeah, well, Dynasty Warriors is also... Dynasty Warriors is straight pice, but it's fun, but it's just like Dynasty Warriors is almost the opposite. It's too visceral. So like, what's the point when you can just carve through 1,000 enemies and then Lu Bu comes along and fucking destroys you? Dude, Lu Bu! Remember Lu Bu? I hope you know that we were screaming Lu Bu 15 years ago is when that was happening.
At least, probably, yeah.
It was more than 15 years ago that we were going Lu Bu.
And
that was
again,
like Dynasty Warriors 3 or 4. It's good gameplay.
I remember more about screaming Lu Bu than I do about playing the actual fucking game. So,
Yeah, well, yeah. So good for whoever made that shit. Who made that? It's something with an E, maybe. I don't know. Oh wait, it's Koei. Koei, yeah.
Another one of those fucking game publishers that like you just kind of take for granted that they're always there and sort of like doing their thing, but you never actually pay attention to what they're doing.
I mean, I think in order to take something for granted, they have to have something that you can take for granted.
Oh, that's probably the wrong phrase.
which these are the motherfuckers who made shit like Nobunaga's Ambition for Game Boy.
Oh my god!
Like, please get the fuck out of here. Stop trying to make Romance of the Three Kingdoms happen. It's not going to happen. It's not gonna happen.
Such a fucking random ass goddamn fucking series. Dude, that shit is real old too. It's Nobunaga's Ambition is so old that I recall being a child, like 9 years old, and trying to pronounce that as Nobunaga's Ambition.
Nobunga! Oh my god, dude, I called it Nobunga also. That's so funny.
And like I would always see that in like issues of Nintendo Power or like a Game Pro magazine, or like, you know, if you were really balling, like an issue of Electronic Gaming Monthly or some fucking crap like that. And
yeah.
I would always see that shit mentioned somewhere, like randomly, and I would always catch myself seeing it being like, the fuck is that game? Why do I keep fucking seeing its name around? What the fuck is it? Who is playing that? What the fuck? And
yeah, like, who likes Nobunga's Ambition?
You never knew any, like as a kid, because Nintendo games and shit like that were very rare. You know, you had like the friend that had this handful of games, and then you had the other friend that had these handful of games, and depending on what you felt like playing, that would determine whose house you went over, you know, on the weekends and shit like that, right? Like, oh, I really want to play Street Fighter 2 this weekend. Oh, well, I'm gonna have to go to Ryan's house, you know. But like, oh shit, if you want to play Mortal Kombat, then well, you're gonna have to go to fucking, you know. My friend who had Mortal Kombat for SNES was named Mole.
Yeah, and if you want to play Nobunga's Ambition, you got to go to your friend's house who smells like soup, and his parents are never home. Like, no thanks.
If you even knew anyone who would have that fucking game.
Yeah, I didn't know anybody who had fucking Nobunga's Ambition.
Chances were that kid probably didn't even know he had that game either. He just, like, you know, acquired it as part of like a lot of fucking games. That same thing happened to me. That's how I obtained a copy of the Goonies 2 for NES, and also Defender of the Crown.
Oh my god, Defender of the Crown for NES?
Yeah, games I would never ever seek out or fucking, you know, or purchase, obviously, on my own for any fucking reason. But I remember I happened upon a fucking garage sale when I was like 11 or some shit, and they were selling like those games. I think also Tetris for NES too. They're selling like 4 or 5 of those fucking NES games for like $20, which, you know, if you were a kid back then, that was like the deal of the goddamn century. You didn't even care what fucking games they were. They were all you need to know was that they're NES games, and you could get more than one for like $20. I was like, holy fuck. Let me buy those right now. I'll do whatever you want, Mom. I'll do my chores and all this fucking garbage for like, you know, the next couple weeks. Just let me get those games. And then you brought them home and you were like, Defender of the fucking Crown. The fuck is this? I don't even understand how you fucking play this motherfucker. Would have been better off with goddamn Nobunga's Ambition.
Dude, fuck Nobunga's Ambition.
Fuck that shit.
All right, let's move on. We need to finish this list.
Oh my god.
Dead Cells.
It's a roguelike. I have it on my PC, but I probably will never play it.
I mean, it's Dark Souls roguelike with amazing 2D graphics. It's fantastic. Although, to be fair, I haven't played it in over a month.
You just said that I'm immediately interested in is amazing 2D graphics.
It's amazing how people can come up with new genres like roguelike that I can fall in love with and you can hate. Like, there's new shit coming out for us to be diametrically opposed to.
I don't even know if I would just say I hate. I just whatever the opposite of interest is.
Well, I mean, is there any roguelike that you put any time into?
No, of course not.
Right, and I have sunk thousands of hours into roguelikes. It's my favorite genre by far. by
Yeah, see, while you're
far.
doing shit like sinking thousands of hours into like whatever the new fresh hot roguelike is, I'm playing like the new release of Brutal Doom all the way through for like the fucking 100th time.
Like, right. Okay,
Dude,
we're almost done.
Who knows why we are the way we are?
We're almost done. We're rounding third. Let's do it. Salt and Sanctuary.
You described that to me, or tried to describe it to me when you first got it, but like I couldn't pay attention. I'm sorry.
Dude, that is actually 2D Dark Souls. Dead Cells is Dead Cells it's a self-described Roguevania, which is true. It's a Roguevania with Dark Souls elements. Salt and Sanctuary is 2D Dark Souls.
I mean, cool.
No rogue.
That's cool.
What does that mean in terms of your interest in playing it?
It probably has too like fucking steep of a skill curve for me to become good enough at playing it before my attention runs out.
This is like the Friends episode, the one where Mr. Hickles dies.
Oh my god, that's an awful thing to say, dude. That's like the worst fucking episode.
That's a great episode.
It's terrible. It's depressing
like when
and awful and so
Why is it
heavy-handed.
depressing?
It's so heavy-handed.
Why is it depressing?
Because he dies and then they're like in his old apartment, like going through all his old fucking shit and finding the exact specific little items that cause them to like sit there and, you know, tell some sort of stupid fucking anecdote about. And
No.
like,
Okay.
Oh god, I really would rather see fucking Ross being awkward in front of a hot girl, or the Chan man, you know, trying to fucking hit on a Victoria's Secret model in a ATM vestibule during a blackout.
Oh my god, wait, what's her fucking name? Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. It's
Do you want me to tell you? I know what it is.
It's wait. I'm so close because I'm saying Gail Bedecker, but that's fucking for Breaking Bad. It's so close. I'm so close, right?
You're so close.
Oh wait. Hold on. Oh my god. Did you know this off the top of your head?
I did.
Can you give me her initials? I know. What's her initials?
JG.
I don't know. What is it?
You're gonna stab yourself right through the goddamn fucking eye. Jill Goodacre.
Oh, I was so close. Oh my god, is it weird how the brain catalogs information where I didn't have the actual file, but it was like, hey, the shortcut is still here, but you renamed the shortcut. But the file is
like getting
gone.
a contact high of excitement. You were so close to getting
so close.
I could feel it. I could feel it.
Dude, I knew that I didn't have the name in my database. I knew it. I knew no matter how much digging I would have done, I would have never gotten that. Jill Goodacre. But I was close. Okay, so next, Mega Man 11.
To be fair, you got about as close as one could possibly get without getting it.
It's pretty good. Okay, Mega Man 11. I only have the demo, even though it's out now. $29.99, Mega Man 11. I haven't bought it, but you should buy it. Support Capcom. Support new 2D Mega Man games.
I spent years in elementary school wasting my Friday night NES game rental on Mega Man games, only to not understand why he didn't control like Mario and never be able to get anywhere in them.
God, you are such a motherfucker.
I'm just not very good at video games. There's a few very specific types of games that I'm either pretty good at or decent at, but most of the rest of them I'm just fucking terrible.
You're great at first-person shooters.
Yeah.
You're amazing at first-person shooters. You're way better than me, except not at multiplayer, apparently.
Well, it depends on what we're playing in multiplayer, you know? If we were playing, like, Doom Classic fucking Deathmatch, I would rape you. If we were playing fucking Unreal Tournament OG 2004 style on Facing Worlds, I would fucking...
Oh, no, you wouldn't. I would Redeemer your fucking pussy ass so hard.
Dude,
You know how good I am with the
I would be hopping
translocator,
fucking
dude?
walls with the goddamn translocator.
I'd be translocating my ass all the way up, grab that Redeemer, and fucking demolish you. Facing Worlds, the next time I see you, we gotta get that shit fired the fuck up, and I will 1v1 you on Facing Worlds. We eat a handful of Adderall and do Facing Worlds all day.
We'll do that as long as we can also do Q3 DM17.
Q3 DM17, motherfucker. I'm not as good as at that, but I am
Q3
good.
DM17, the fucking railgun, dude. I'll ruin
The railgun is absolutely.
I'll ruin your goddamn year.
Is that what's out on that platform? Out in space, we have to do the jump to the platform, and you pick up the railgun there.
Yeah.
God damn, that map is good. Wow,
It was
is that
so
map
good that when Quake 3 was out, that's the only map
Nobody
we ever
bought
played. That's the only map we ever played.
I don't think I bought it because I had the demo, which had that. I don't think I ever actually bought Q3.
I'm sure I had the full version of it, mostly because Frontline Assembly did this the soundtrack.
Oh my god, of course I did have it. Absolutely I had it. I played way more maps than that because I remember the Frontline Assembly soundtrack. I definitely bought it. What a fucking, man, it got me on that one. Jesus. So, like, great. The engine, unbelievable. The music, stellar. Oh my god, was the engine good. Was Carmack doing that?
Yeah, dude. Everything up to like id Tech 6, which is the Doom 2014 engine, was Carmack.
Oh, so you mean Carmack left and it got good again?
Well, I mean, Carmack was never part of the actual game design team. He was just the guy making the fucking engines.
And the company is getting back to getting good.
I don't think there's like anybody at that company that was there back in the Yo day, except maybe somebody like Adrian Carmack or Tom Hall or something. And they're just in like management, like way upper management now.
Oh my god, what a bunch of douchebags. Okay, well, we're 3 away from the end. Okay, 20xdx.
We had a fucking a little bit of an issue when you first mentioned that to me a couple episodes ago because I didn't understand what XDX was.
And I actually asked my friend, and he looked at me like I was
not you.
Yes, he looked at me like I was insane that I called it 20xdx, not 20xx. But I think 20xdx is
that's
more interesting.
That's a unique element to my personality, is that even though my initial understanding of how to pronounce that was different from what you were saying, I immediately sided with your pronunciation of it because I saw it to be obviously and clearly superior.
I think it's cool. I think calling it 20xdx is fun.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
It's way better than saying like in 20xx.
No, that's fucking dumb.
You know, a super robot named fucking Mega Chief or whatever.
Okay, so what about it?
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about that. I'll never look at it. I'll never play it.
All right, great. All right, this is gonna be good. Sushi Striker: The Way of Sushido demo.
Yeah, fuck out of here, dude.
Okay, Hollow Knight.
Hollow Knight is great. I am very slowly, over the course of many months, gradually making my way through that on PC.
Which is so funny because I bought it, tried it, and thought it was. I mean, I think it's good, but there are major Pice elements of it that I'm just like, no. That's why I haven't picked it up.
I will agree that it is nowhere near as good a game as it pretends to be during the first hour of your first playthrough of it.
All right, so there you have it. All right, so I have, what is in each row? There's 6 in each row. I have 24. Oh my god, I have 29 games on this thing. That's nuts.
Jesus, I have like 5 on my Switch.
Bro, you got to start checking the eShop daily, son, and pick up those deals when they come through.
For the things, the specific things that I use it for, but gee, you gotta remember, like, dude, I'm PC fucking master race at heart, bro. Like,
yeah, I don't have PC.
Dude, I have 4 3 terabyte hard drives in my gaming PC, and they are filled with fucking games. Absolutely filled. That's where I do most of my fucking gaming on.
You got any porno games?
No. I was momentarily, briefly intrigued when I heard that Steam had just greenlit like the first couple, like true adult fucking games or whatever on their platform. But whatever interest or enthusiasm that announcement had sparked within me, it did not last long enough for me to even open a new tab. So.
Great. I play an adult VR game for sure, dude.
I mean, I guess, but like...
I play a game about fucking.
I don't know, but then you're gonna be like... I don't know, what, are you supposed to like be jerking off with the one hand while you're looking at 3D virtual titties? You know,
and then you turn it off and
shit.
You go play it later. You finish it off later after you finish
weird.
yourself.
I'd rather just open a new tab and go to Pornhub for fucking 5 minutes and be done with it. Why
5 minutes?
Why drag it out into like a whole ordeal and like
5 minutes?
Thing? I don't know.
I can't even find a video I want in 5 minutes that's gonna really rub me the right way. I need like fucking some crazy ass shit, like stepmom catches her son playing hooky from school and then his 8 friends come over.
Oh my god, dude, it'll take you like an hour and a half and like 6 different fucking porn content tube aggregators in order to find a fucking suitable video of that kind of shit, dude. You gotta head into that sort of activity with just the mentality of like, all right, let's just fucking knock this out and get back to whatever it is I was doing.
I know. No, dude, I got you. Dude, my new favorite sub that I had, because I got this new phone, I'm tragically sad to say that Alien Blue is incompatible with this phone, which means that
I got used to the stock Reddit app a long time ago.
Well, the issue here is that over 5 years worth of aggregated subreddits are gone. So I must find them all new, which means that I have found a new sub, which is Big Titty Goth GF. Titty with D's. So Tiddy. Big Titty Goth GF. It's exactly what you think, and it's amazing. Amazing.
There truly is something out there to cater to absolutely everybody's fucking
taste. Yeah.
I feel rather bland in saying that my favorite subreddit is fucking 40K lore.
Oh my god, dude. Oh, Jesus. I think my balls shriveled up inside my... Oh, no. You know what, dude? Dude, I apologize. I won't lore shame you. I celebrate your desire to enjoy Warhammer 40K lore. I think that's super cool. I'm a huge fan of world building and lore, and just because I'm not specifically into that universe for whatever weird reason that I can't understand, it does not make your appreciation of that lore any less significant. So I won't lore shame you. I respect your appreciation for Warhammer 40K lore.
What a mature and refreshing stance for you to take, Bob.
We are very 2018 in fucking, due to degreelessness. We may say some fucking fucked up shit from time to time, but we are we are the most accepting people, because if we weren't, who would accept us? We may be grown ass white males, but we are and have always been advocates for those who have not been blessed with the same privileges that we have, and we have been that way for a very fucking long time. And I think that's important for us to keep in mind as part of our identity. We have always looked out for people who didn't have it going on as easy as we did. And those who enjoy lore that is less appreciated than other lore deserve no less respect than someone like me, who may be talking shit about something that, maybe not. Dude, I'll get in arguments about shit like fucking Harry Potter lore, dude. I'll get in Harry Potter lore arguments all the time.
I'm not going to get into that because that's going to start a whole nother tangent, but I'll just suffice it to say, I never was able to really get into Harry Potter, but you...
Dude, because you didn't read it. You didn't read it, so fucking suck a dick. If you don't read it, I don't want to hear about it. Read that shit. It's full of plot holes, but it's great.
Bobby, your mature and accepting demeanor and attitude towards this has taken an unexpected and rather dark turn.
That's intolerance of of a lack of knowledge of, if there's a lack of understanding,
Also,
you're
maybe
right.
You just need to chill out a second.
You're right.
If
You're
you
right.
recall,
You're right.
If
You're
you
right.
would if you would gear down just a bit, you may realize that I did not say anything negative or even remotely disparaging about Harry Potter or the wonderful wizarding world in which he fucking
That was
inhabits.
patronizing.
It was all right. That was a little patronizing.
You patronized the wizarding world.
I did a little bit. I'm sorry. I didn't say up until that moment right then. I did not say anything bad or negative about it. I just said
No, you're right.
I just said I was never able to get into it.
You're right. And I jumped all over you and it basically insulted you for not being into it. And that's unacceptable.
Yeah,
and
bro,
instead,
you're coming awful fast. You harshed all over my fucking mellow.
I came in real fast. I came all over your face. And it's not fair. And all I can say is that for a book series that you could get through in a week, and that begins with 3 children's books, 1 awkward adolescent book, and 3 books that get progressively better from good to great to incredible. If you can get past the ridiculous plot holes and retconning, it's stellar.
I worry that I missed my window for it.
You didn't miss anything. It's fucking amazing. It's so good as an adult because, again, you burn through the first 3 and then suffer through the 4th one, and then the last 3 are a joyride jam session. Book 6 and book 7 are incredible, and they're dark, and there's people getting murdered left and right.
I feel about Harry Potter and his wizarding world very similarly to how I feel about Pokemon, which is that I have a very healthy respect for both franchises and what they've accomplished and their history and all that kind of shit and everything associated with them. But in both cases, I just narrowly missed the window for them, and I feel like I will never really be able to like truly get into them.
See, this is what if I were near you, I would read you the Harry Potter series out loud because I love to be able to do that because there's so many amazing characters and voices and shit. And that's the one reason I would ever consider having a kid would be to be like, yo, I'm gonna read this motherfucker Harry Potter
We don't need to have
shit.
a kid for that. We could just record you doing that and make YouTube videos. Shit.
Yeah, well, I could definitely do that. I was super into that. When I was doing the Animojis the other day, my friend who was visiting was like, yo, you should be fucking voice acting,
I was losing my goddamn mind when you were sending me those.
Dude, they're awesome. They're really cool. So, before you get an Animoji, okay, so, wait, how did we start talking about Harry Potter? What were we talking about? Harry, you're a wizard, Harry. You're a gay-bo, Harry. What were we talking about?
Snooch, Harry.
What the No, I mean, the story is full of plot holes and absolute garbage.
Let's put the fucking.
No, let's get out of Harry Potter.
Yeah, let's put the kibosh on that.
Where were we? Yeah, kibosh.
Where we were was finishing your list of Nintendo Switch games that you owned. That you felt a need to get to know my stance on each and every one of them, even though I'm sure you probably knew every answer that I gave.
I did, but I thought that our loyal listeners should get a little insight into your absolute gaming intolerance.
For fucking, I feel like we've been talking about this shit for like fucking like a year, dude.
All right, I got one more question.
All right.
Will GTA 5 ever make it to Switch?
I feel as though it is more likely than unlikely.
So you think that it could happen?
Yes. Not only do I think it could happen, I feel as though it is likely.
Dude, they would make $10 gazillion.
Dude, you don't hear about it often enough, like very often, mostly because we just, as a general rule of thumb, stay far away from internet game communities that are that fucking toxic and insane. But Rockstar is still making motherfucking dollars hand over fist on GTA 5 Online. Like, it's fucking insane. Neither of us play it, and we don't know or hang out with anyone who plays it. So I feel like we kind of are able to forget mercifully that it really exists and is out there. But dude, they make so much goddamn money from that shit still. And dude, GTA 5 came out on the goddamn PS3 and the 360.
It's 5 years old.
It could easily chill on the fucking Switch.
I want it, dude. I want it now. I want to play it. I want to own it. I want to play it. I want to play the shit out of that.
Speaking of that, actually,
shit out of it.
just in order to wrap this episode up, this is something that I was thinking of that might be fun for us to do. Before we started recording this episode, I was thinking like, oh man, like what are we going to talk about? Like, what are we playing? Have we even been involved in anything remotely current in video games right now? Like, I don't fucking know. Like, how can we say like what we're playing? Is it even really relevant? And then I thought, well, if we're not playing anything that's current or new, maybe we could have a little mini section on, instead of what we're currently playing, what we're not currently playing. And on that list right now for this week would be games like Bobby and Pete are not playing Fortnite still. We are also
I played it.
We are also but actively. We are also not playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
No, although I heard it was awesome, and I saw a screenshot of some dude who was like, yo, I dropped into the ocean, and a sperm whale came up on me, and I was like, I want to buy it, but then somebody else was like, the story sucks, the gameplay sucks, this game sucks.
It's filled with microtransactions and fucking
no,
and pay to win like XP boosts and stuff. So that can't be true. Tuned the XP gain curve around around the intention of making it so insufferable as to motivate you to pay for XP increase things. Oh yeah,
you're killing me. Is that true?
That's absolutely true.
Is it EA? Excuse me, is it EA?
Almost as bad as Ubisoft.
Okay.
So yeah, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, another game that we are not playing right now.
Nope, not playing that. Not playing
Call of Duty,
The Last of Us 2.
Fucking COD Blops 4 or Battlefield 5, both which are in, I'm pretty sure they're in active betas and shit right now. And there's a lot of heated discussion surrounding both of those games and their communities. And we are, and neither of us are involved in any of that because we aren't playing either of those fucking games.
No, but I will go to my homie's house and play the zombies on COD Blops 4 when it comes out, because I heard that they did the zombies like its own full game.
Every once in a while, sure, you'll spend like an hour or so, maybe one evening, having a few brews and playing COD Blops zombies. Sure, like a normal person.
Getting super fucked up with your homie and screaming about some zombies can be really, really fun unless it's someone who takes it really seriously, and when you blow it because you're so wasted and having too good a time and they get mad, then I'm like, all right, well, I'm leaving. Goodbye. Like, sorry, I fucked up your zombies run.
By yourself.
Sorry, I fucked up your zombies run, dude. I'll see you later. Like, really? Like, oh my god, dude, I told you need to shoot the zombie when he was under the dragon's mouth. Are you fucking serious? Like, bye.
Yeah, you and I both have approaches to this game that fundamentally differ in such a way as to ensure that they will never be mutually compatible. So I'm leaving.
Yeah, no, I'm not fucking with that. All right, well, okay, so...
No, and also neither myself nor Bobby is playing anything on Xbox One because it's
my god,
dumb, and we neither of us have one.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was wondering why my big black cat yelled at me, and I didn't realize I leaned on his tail. I'm sorry. He went, meh. I bet we can hear it in the recording.
What else? Oh, we are also not playing the Spider-Man game for PS4.
Oh my god! Except I'm really sad about that.
That actually might actually be kind of sad that we are not playing.
Dude, it sounds fucking amazing.
But nevertheless, as of right now, neither of us are playing.
Yeah, why aren't you playing it? You have 1,000 systems that can fucking run that shit.
Because it's fucking $60, and I can't remember a time that I ever enjoyed playing any Spider-Man game ever. At any point, except for maybe Spider-Man and the Sinister Six for NES when I was like in 6th grade.
I played a lot of Maximum Carnage, but that game is like one of the hardest games of all time.
Yeah, that.
It came in a red cart, remember?
Yeah, But it was
So
after Doom was ported to SNES and came out on a red card also, so it wasn't that crazy.
Oh, right. Dude, is Carnage the villain in the Tom Hardy Venom movie?
I have no idea.
Is that MCU?
No.
How is that possible?
That's what I am wondering. I mean, well,
How is
the
that
actual
possible?
actual answer to that is that the ownership and rights surrounding Spider-Man and associated Marvel characters and IPs is very, very convoluted and weird. The specifics of which come together to create a scenario where we have a movie in theaters right now about Venom, a character and villain who is pretty much defined by his relationship with Spider-Man. And Spider-Man makes no appearance in this film whatsoever, and is not
Nothing?
mentioned ever. So
Mentioned?
how they managed to do that, I have no fucking idea.
Isn't Venom's origin story that Spidey gets a meteorite crashes with the symbiote?
Spidey is off in in a series or a storyline called Marvel Secret Wars from that was ran in the comics in the 80s and shit. And throughout the Secret Wars, there's Spider-Man and a bunch of other fucking Marvel heroes, fighting all kinds of crazy extragalactic baddies on fucking alien planets and shit. And somehow during the course of those events, he encounters this symbiote, which is some sort of alien intelligence that bonds with him and becomes his fucking suit. And he returns to Earth wearing the symbiote as his suit because he doesn't understand the dangers of it yet. And shortly after returning to Earth with it, he starts noticing that it's trying to fucking take him over and use him as a host or some shit, take over his mind, some kind of crap like that. And it's he was like, oh shit, you're evil and bad. So he basically, I think maybe he fucks with the Fantastic Four to get rid of the symbiote. I don't remember exactly, but he gets rid of the symbiote somehow and casts it aside and gets fucking rid of it. And after doing so, some sort of events transpire that result in Eddie Brock.
Brock, baby.
Yeah, this fucking another reporter at, I think it's the Daily Bugle where...
I think it's the Daily Bugle.
Yeah,
that's not Metropolis, right?
No, that's NY Sis.
No, what's Metropolis paper? What paper does Clark Kent work at?
Daily Planet.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you.
But anyway, so after he rids himself of the symbiote and shit, he casts it aside. The symbiote is fucking butthurt about that, and goes about trying to find someone who shares its fucking hatred of Peter Parker. And it encounters Eddie Brock, who has always sort of been toiling away at the Daily Bugle in Peter Parker's shadow, I guess. Peter Parker's always the star, getting all the pictures of Spider-Man, and Eddie Brock has just kind of ignored and nobody gives a fuck about him. The symbiote encounters him and he's like, oh shit, we have similar goals. So they merge together, and through their mutual hatred of Spider-Man and Peter Parker, they merge together and become a new fucking character, motivated
Venom.
and pretty much existing simply because they both hate Peter Parker / Spider-Man.
But he's no longer human, right?
Who, Eddie
He can't
Brock?
transform back to Eddie Brock, right? He's Venom forever.
I'm not an expert on the actual comic canon and lore, but as far as I understand it, they are bonded for all time. And that wouldn't stop them coming up with some sort of magical doohickey that separates them or whatever. But for all intents and purposes, yeah, they are permanently merged and they are the same. They are one and the same.
Okay, so what's Carnage?
Carnage is, I forget.
It's not human. Carnage is never human.
No.
Carnage
No. Carnage is the being that is created when part of the symbiote. I don't know if it's the same symbiote that's merged with Eddie Brock, or if it's just another symbiote of the same species. That I don't know. But somehow another symbiote becomes merged with a fucking sociopathic serial killer on death row named, I think, Cletus Cassidy.
Oh shit. Okay.
And when it merges with him, they become Carnage. And
Cool.
and he makes a great fucking villain because, you know, even though Venom is Spider-Man's enemy more often than not, he still has like an internal sort of code of like what's left of Eddie Brock and his like kind of morality and shit, which can be flexible when it comes to fucking with Spider-Man, but for the most part, Eddie Brock is still kind of a decent guy, sort of. So there's a lot of instances in the comics where Spider-Man and Venom like are on the same side. You know, Venom is like an anti-hero basically. So Carnage shows up and he's using the fucking symbiote suit to like turn his arms and shit into like enormous axes and like scything through people and like murdering fucking tons of civilians and shit all over the place. So Venom and Spider-Man need to team up and fuck him up and shit. He's a great villain.
Yeah, Carnage is dope. Isn't he the villain in the Tom Hardy movie?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. That seems like it makes sense to me, but I don't know.
I'm pretty sure, dude. I'm pretty sure it's Venom versus Carnage in this movie.
Well, that plus Tom Hardy makes two minor reasons to maybe go see it, but I've heard it's shit.
It sucks. Is it out?
Yeah, it's in theaters right now.
It's in theaters now.
I feel like it's actually making a pretty decent amount of money, but everyone is saying that it's not good.
Right.
Which, I mean, doesn't seem that fucking surprising. I mean, you got Tom Hardy, which is great. That dude can... I mean, if there's anybody that can fucking turn a pile of shit into something kind of halfway tolerable, I would say it's probably fucking Tom Hardy.
Dude, Tom Hardy is amazing. You mustn't be afraid to dream a little bigger, darling. Fucking pulls out, and to Joseph Gordon-Levitt, before he pulls out a fucking RPG. And actually, he pulls out a grenade launcher and shoots that shit. So awesome. What a great... Tom Hardy is sick. Chris Nolan is sick. Tom Hardy is sick. All that shit is sick. Fuck Venom. Fuck Carnage. Tom Hardy is sick.
It's fucking sick.
Come on, dude. A little heavy metal parking lot? Really? I thought I'd get more of a reaction for that, ref.
I'm trying to think of the exact quote that he says.
He's like, Priest is sick, crew is sick, fuck Madonna. I don't know, he doesn't say fuck Madonna. I don't remember what band he says fuck this band. Because they're at a Priest concert.
He says something like, Priest, Dio, Slayer, it all rules.
Oh yeah.
I forget the exact quote. But on that interesting fucking note, this is where we're gonna fucking call it. We've already gone almost 2.5 fucking hours. I need to go to bed so fucking soon because I have to go back to goddamn work tonight.
Oh my god, the reunion episode has been quite fantastic.
Episode fucking 11, dude. Effortlessly 2.5 hours, and we had no fucking clue what we were gonna talk about.
No, I don't have a clue.
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 Dude,
oh my god.
By the time I noticed anything was wrong, the entire city infested with zombies.
Oh, I don't have a clue. Oh my god, yeah, well done.
Why do you bite me?
Why are you trying to bite me? Oh yeah, why did he bite me?
Why do you bite me?
Like, wasn't that the truck driver?
Yeah, I think so.
Like, what happens to the zombie in the back of the truck?
Not a zombie, a maniac. That guy's a maniac. That guy.
But what happens to the zombie in the back of the truck? Does he throw him out?
I have no idea.
I want to know what happens between when the zombie comes out of the back and bites him.
I don't think it comes out of the back. I think it's fucking trying to get in as the truck is pulling off.
Oh, I thought he was hiding in the back seat.
No, it's the police car that there's a zombie in the back of, and then the police car crashes and it goes flying through the windshield and hits the pole.
And is that when they crash and they get separated?
Yeah, they were parted by an inescapable destiny. Welcome
so
to
there was a zombie
in the planet.
There was a zombie in the back of the cab the entire time.
Of course there was.
And they never noticed a man in the back seat.
A cropulent crops just chilling, all fucking low key and shit.
Claire Danes Dragon Planet. JC Denton in the bathtub.
Jason
Go ask him.
Denton in the bathtub.
Go ask him.
Go ask him.
Dude. Nothing is wrong. Nothing to care about. Septic pool. Who are you?
Who are you? Who are you?
Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Septic pool. Dude. Who are you? Nothing is wrong. Nothing to care about. Septic pool. Who are you? Unbelievable.
Go ask him, dude.
Go ask him.
He's over there.
Go ask him.
He's waiting.
Go.
All you need to do is go ask him.
Let's go ask him.
All you gotta
Let's
do
go
is
ask
go ask him.
You got the Magnum? Let's go ask him.
Let's go ask him.
Let's go ask him. That's awesome.
Let him know, dude.
Oh my
We've got
God.
just one question on our mind.
Just one. All I gotta know. Who are you? Who the fuck are you?